Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink three-pointers, money shots all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North America, we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Best.
From
to this day,
TV.
to this day.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink three-pointers, money shots all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept the storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields and interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube and fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North America, we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson. The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers. Fabric softener, jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch storage type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, the scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it.
It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descended of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom. Best.
TV.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bumps we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields. And interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube. And fade to black, here the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Amex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all.
Peace to the family. Peace to the family. Hold on. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Peace to the family. Peace to you and yours. Welcome, 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 welcome to another episode of Melanin Mondays. You are now rocking with the best. Yes, this is your host for the evening, Brother Red Pillar. All right. And that track that you just heard, ladies and gentlemen, that track is none other than the Theta Waves featuring the Red Pillar and the Blue Pillar off of that Red Summer Deluxe. Yes, I said it. The Red Summer Deluxe is on the way. I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah, the cat is out the bag. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, we'll have more information on that very, very soon. You know what I'm talking about? Very, very soon. But how y'all doing in the building, man? Shout out to everybody on this beautiful Monday and whatnot. Shout out to everybody in the building, man. Man, how's everybody doing? How was your strong end? I hope everything was okie dory. You know what I mean? I hope everybody had a great strong end. But here we are. Here we are. Back again for another one. You dig? So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do the roll call. And then we're going to get to it. You know what I'm talking about? We are going to get into the thing. All right. Shout out to everybody. Now, let's see what we have here. Okay, we got Hawaii tapping right on in. All right. Shout out to the Hawaii family. Shout out to Hawaii in the building. All right now. Shout out to Hawaii in the building. Shout out to CT in the building. Connecticut, stand up. You dig? Portland is in the building. We got Tennessee in the building. Oxnard in the building. Portmore, Jamaica in the bit. We got Ireland in the building. Massachusetts, Chicago, Michigan, Camden up in this thing. Greenville, South Carolina. Inglewood, Love, Los Angeles, City of Angels. What's happening? We have New Bedford, Massachusetts. Wichita Fall, Texas, DMV up in this biatch. Memphis, we got Dallas up in here. You know what I'm talking about? Hartford, Connecticut. Shout out to Hartford. I was in Hartford. It was big love in Hartford. You know, the China bus ticket price stayed the same. No, they got some good affordable flights, man. F that China bus. You know what I'm talking about? Go and check out Skip Lag. They got them good flights. Aurora in the building. Sanford, we got London, UK up in the building. Phoenix in the building. Honolulu up in this thing. Iowa, Vegas, Dallas. You know what I'm talking about? Bread and Circus, DC up in this thing. Shout out to everybody, man. Shout out to everybody. Man, where do we begin? Nashville is in the building. Shout out to Nashville. Shout out to Nashville. Bum, 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 bum. Birmingham, we renamed that Birmingham Veg. No disrespect. Birmingham Veg. Yeah, that's what we doing. Tampa up in this thing. Maryland up in this thing. Yes, indeed. All right, now. So we'll get right into the thing. We'll get right into it. You know what I'm saying? Why wait? Why wait? There's a lot of things going to lead up to this, but F that. Let's jump right into this shit right here. By a show of hands, how many people had the opportunity to watch the quote-unquote UFC fights? Who was there? I caught the Clearwater. Shout out to the Gas House. Brrr. All right, City of Angels. Doggy coming for Obama. Yeah, Obama needs to step up. Listen, I'm gonna need Barack to grab his nuts. You know what I'm talking about? You can't talk about the wifey like that. You know what I mean? Not. Come on now. Not on public television. What are we doing? North Las Vegas. We got Denver, Colorado. So, all right, we're going to get right into it. And of course, in Donald Trump fashion, in pure Donald Trump fashion, you already know this shit started with controversy right off the muscle. Right off the muscle. You know what I'm talking about? Ain't waste no time. Let's get right into it.
Son ruined his birthday party with this UFC fight because he wanted to do some insider trading with Trumpstein's son ruined his birthday party with this UFC fight because he wanted to do some insider trading with a commentator of the fight. Hello, you are a dickhead. Right before the fight is supposed to start, Daniel Cormier goes onto Twitter and says, I'm probably going to get a lot of flack for bringing this to light. However, I refuse to stay silent. The UFC is a sport that I am deeply passionate about. I will not tolerate this type of insider behavior. Shame on anyone trying to ruin this beautiful event. You see, the DM is from Eric Trump. Eric hits him up saying, hey, Daniel, I'm going to be at UFC 250 tomorrow. Saw you were casting, hope to see you there. Then he says, anything you can tell me about the fighters tomorrow? Who you got winning? Just cut to the chase. Are any of the fights tomorrow rigged? I've been eyeing a Lopez fight, and I think an upset wouldn't be too unrealistic. No, none of our fights are rigged. And honestly, I am so appalled that you would even ask me something like this. This is the president's fucking son, right? Is immediately you're like, oh, wow. So if he's trying to insider cheat and trade on this, just imagine what he's fucking doing to this country. He owns a couple of drone companies that surprisingly got government contracts. All of a sudden, the tweet gets deleted. And Eric quotes that tweet saying, this did not happen. They were AI generated. Please be careful with reporting. Well, you should have been more careful with your stupid fucking story. So you're telling me that Daniel Cormier posted AI generated pictures of y'all conversation? Fake ones. For what? This is happening while they're all at the fight. He's tweeting this while he's at the fight. Panic mode. And I knew something was up because Trump looked pissed when he was walking out, where he was not happy. Where I was like, oh, what the fuck is he so upset about? He has a UFC fighting at the fucking White House. This nigga should be ecstatic. Well, his son's a fucking dweeb. We are aware of the fake AI-generated screenshots being circulated online. I have never spoken to Daniel. He has since deleted his post, which confirms it was clearly fabricated.
Everything is AI now. Before, But we didn't even realize when everybody was like, yeah, my account got hacked. There was a hack. We didn't even realize that was low key to cover up. But now we have a better understanding of how this shit goes. So now from now on into time immemorial, every effed up thing is AI generated. Like they showed you that on The Boys with Homelander, season 5, where they leaked the video of him killing all them people on the plane. Oh no, that's AI generated. How I would never. So they literally could leak all of that. I mean, I didn't even hear Diddy. You know what I'm saying? Diddy should have tweeted from behind bars. Nah, that's not me. You know what I'm talking about? That was AI. Nah, fam, that's Midjourney. That's Hicksfield. You know what I mean? So that's this is the new deflection and shit. But let's continue.
That does not confirm it's clearly fabricated. If it was fake, that motherfucker probably would have just left that bitch up there. Or he wouldn't have tweeted it in the fucking first place. But he went with AI-generated screenshots. That was a terrible fucking idea. And after that, Daniel tweets, "Are people really this dumb?" He quote tweets, "Thanks, Daniel," and tags him. Trying to act like, oh, people are so stupid. Obviously, this is a fake conversation that I just posted. But then they were like, wait, hold on. This may not actually be a good idea either. And so they do something that I don't understand. You guys are really fucking stupid. Hour goes by, and then they try to go with the, oh shit, obviously his Twitter is hacked. Where it's like, well, if his Twitter was hacked, he probably wouldn't have deleted the tweet calling you out for trying to insider trade. Daniel, you should realize that he immediately tried to throw you under the bus and say it was fabricated, AI generated. Why would you do that, Daniel? That doesn't really make much sense to anybody. And then you went with that. 2 hours later, let's throw out a fake hack tweet. This looks fucking bad. Got some explaining to do, dickhead.
And then they wilded him up.
Posted fake AI.
Then they wilded him up. Let's go to part 2.
DC, you need help, gang? Hello, come on, man. We can get you out, bro. What they threaten you with, son?
Post. We're from Eric Trump.
Not real.
They're not real.
I can't believe you guys believe that. Like, who believes it?
But everyone said it was posted on your account.
I got hacked or something. Who believes stuff like that? That's crazy.
So you didn't post it?
All right, son, that call from up top must have been iniquitous. So, DC, you want me to believe that somebody hacked your account, posted fake AI-generated DMs, and then deleted them? I mean, just say that shit out loud. Then the hacker said, "Are people really this dumb?" And Eric Trump said, "Thanks." So, or was that like, you also were in the account with the hacker, so you guys were both tweeting at the same time? And anybody knows that fucks around with social media, that's not what happens. Because as soon as somebody hacks your account, they change the password. So you're cooked. You can't get back into that bitch. Which obviously somebody finally told you, because now you post on Instagram, they done locked me out my account. Need help getting it back. Yo, there's no way you let these people make you look this fucking stupid. You used to be a motherfucking beast in the octagon, son. And you let Eric Trump, little pussy ass, make you look like a dweeb and an idiot? It's crazy too, cause like, not like I could talk that crazy. You whoop my ass, but like, you really looking like a bitch right now. It's crazy. John Bones, I know what he talking about now. When the video hits the net, not real, I can't believe you guys are hacked or something. Eric, one more time. Thanks, DC. Hey, you're tagging the hacked account? Man, these guys are stupid. Now it makes so much more sense why Trump was so mad when he was walking out and didn't even look to talk to you. Because you guys, Team Huddle, are terrible. You guys got a lot of idiots trying to orchestrate this. And now you make a DC look like a real asshole. And that's unfortunate. But you know, the black good guy always gonna take the fall. Eric, you understand what the last president's son was doing? Smoking crack and fucking prostitutes on camera. All you had to say was you were a degenerate gambler. But instead, you guys are so obsessed with not looking like idiots when you're actual stupid idiots that we're going with this fake AI generated screenshots. So a hacker fakes your DMs to DC, posts them, but because he's such a good hacker, he decides to delete them. Because, I mean, they're fabricated. And then he asks, or maybe DC asks, are people really this dumb? Damn, I mean, what call did you make? Like, damn, like, y'all like threaten his family or something? I don't know. Because niggas spooked. So a hacker successfully hacks DC and posts fake betting DMs from Eric Trump and then deletes them. For the love of the game. Why? Strictly for vibes. Red Bulls nowhere in sight. That's what they want me to believe. Wow. I'm a hater, not a liar, and I'm definitely not stupid. I'm young, but I was not born fucking yesterday. Got some explaining to do, dickheads.
This whole event, y'all, was a shit show from the beginning, man. This whole entire event, you know, we gonna talk about it, but let's continue putting some clips up.
President J.D. Vance has confirmed that the United States may...
Not yet, bro.
See, Rome did the exact same thing. See, Rome had this thing called... Look, a lot of y'all think this make America look strong. But to those of us who know about history, America is out of there. Finished. Finito. See, Rome did the exact same thing. See, Rome had this thing called the secular games. They celebrated it on a 1,000-year reign. They call it coming into a new age. However, behind closed doors, Rome was crumbling. It was falling apart. America just did the exact same thing. America is falling apart, crumbling, but they have to show everybody strength and power to the common people to make it feel like it's going to last forever. America's over. Through.
The bread and circus shows, right? So many people are, I mean, it's not even, you don't even got to be on something to catch on to that shit. But yeah, let us continue.
Breaking fucking news. People keep asking me why I haven't spoke about what happened at the UFC fucking stupid shit between that fighter going out there and being like Michelle Obama's a man, to the rain, the thunderstorms, and hail, to the white people brawling on the White House lawn and getting arrested, to somebody getting asked, oh, how do you feel about this UFC fight and the political standpoint it takes? And I think politics has nothing to do with this. We're all here to watch professional fighters. All of it's corny. Every single part of it. Every ounce of it. Every single second of that shit is the corniest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't even want to show you the clips. I've seen all the footage. I've seen the footage from motherfuckers fighting on the lawn to the fucking Michelle Obama's a man shit to all of it. I've seen there's shit I haven't even named yet because I've seen so much of that bullshit. I don't give a fuck about that crack ass. It was nothing but crackers. The fucking Eric Trump getting exposed for trying to set up bets and then try to say it was AI, and then Donald Trump coming out pissed off because nobody knew why, and then it comes out that one of the fighters dropped the screenshots, and then this fighter deleted the screenshots, and Eric Trump was like, oh, that was AI, it wasn't me. Shit show. Shit show. That shit, just shit show.
Look at the hypocrisy happening on the White House lawn tonight. They call it Freedom 250, but it's nothing more than a sanitized, corporate Roman circus designed to blind you. And the moment an actual truth is spoken, their illusion fractures, and the machinery of the wealthy predators pivot to crush it. Look at what just happened to Sean Strickland, as it first started when Strickland wouldn't read from their curated script, and instead he openly used his platform to speak out against the administration's foreign policy with Israel, to challenge Trump, and to explicitly question the protection of the Epstein network. And what did the system do? Instantly, the quiet hand of the state pulled his security clearance, and behind the scenes, Hunter Campbell and corporate handlers told him he wasn't allowed on the lawn and he was completely banned from the event. But then public outrage erupted, and the internet saw the active, American champion being silenced. So the system of control did what it always does when caught in a lie, and it shifted the narrative. Dana White stepped to the microphone, looked at the cameras, and claimed nobody is banned, and they backpedaled, posturing like they're suddenly champions of free speech, telling the public he was welcome to come. But it was a trap, and by refusing to give him an official itinerary or a clear ticket, they kept their boundaries entirely invisible, and they left his status ambiguous on purpose. So when Strickland and Craig Jones showed up at the Ellipse and stepped outside the unwritten boundaries they weren't even aware of, in order to meet the fans, the administration's trap sprung. The police moved in immediately, throwing him into a security van, and charged him with disorderly conduct, the ultimate, elastic, catch-all law used by the predators to lock up anyone who disrupts their curated reality. They tell you you're free, but the moment you step off their painted lines, they put you in handcuffs. They don't hate the disruption, they hate the truth he spoke. So stop looking at the circus and look at your own cage being built. We do not forgive, we do not forget. Anonymously enlightening out.
Trump's UFC fight is coming under major fire from Republicans, Democrats, and independents alike this morning after one of the fighters made a horrific remark regarding Michelle Obama being a man. I'm not going to show it to you. It's not worth showing anywhere else. According to CNN, Trump, when this remark was made, cracked a half smile, although his full reaction wasn't captured. And this morning, those across the political spectrum are asking why. Why have this UFC fight in the first place? Why, when prices are so high for so many families, are we having a UFC fight on the White House South Lawn? Why invite fighters to compete who make such horrific remarks? And there are Republicans calling out the president today. It's not just Democrats. It's not just independents. Across the political spectrum, folks are not happy with the results of last night. And this is a net political loss for him, for the president, even if it may be a birthday celebration that he wanted. So we'll see how this goes. Spread the word. Follow for more.
Yeah, the hypocrisy is just glaring. You know, the shit that they're allowed to get away with and the things that they're allowed to do. You know, it's crazy. But keep in mind, this is the highest form of bread and circus that you've ever seen in your entire life. The shit that they put on at the White House was epic distraction. Epic. But check this shit out.
This? 15 career fights, finishing 15 of those before the final bell. He is the first two-division champion with an undefeated record in year of one of the most exciting fights ever to grace the octagon. He's earned 15 performance awards in 15 UFC fights, tied for the most Asian champion in UFC history.
The fighters are making their entrance for the UFC White House press conference by walking down the steps of the Lincoln Memorial flanked by our military and random children. We are officially in our Roman gladiator fighting phase of the emperor's reign. The American taxpayers are bankrolling our own distraction because history shows us that gladiator fights and spectacle games are used during the downfall of an empire to distract the people from the corruption of the state and political problems and economic inequality. There are many famous quotes about the Roman Empire, but the one that comes to mind right now is, "Give them bread and circuses, and they will never revolt." Well, I find this revolting. And it reminds me less of the great Roman quotes and more of the Turkish proverb, when a clown moves into a palace, he doesn't become a king. The palace becomes a circus. We could have healthcare, yet we have this. And not for nothing, but I feel like they're trolling us by using little kids here. This is the administration hiding the evidence of the most far-reaching child torture and sex trafficking ring in history. The administration that just had to have an emergency.
They should never appear with a child. This administration should never put cameras on any one of their officials. They should never have children at their events. It should be adult only until we figure out what the hell is in those 3 million extra files. I mean, think about it. The first 3 million is a body bag, you know what I mean? But the 3 million that they're hiding, there needs to be a moratorium on pulling up with anything under 18, fam. Like, are you dumb? And it just goes to show the conditioning that's taking place. It is a mass psyop. We spoke about this from day one. This quote unquote day of disclosure. You know, the real disclosure is the fact that they're going to show you their fangs and you're not going to really have anything to do with it. you won't have anything to do against it. You can't really stop that, unless of course, you are a KTLian, you know what I mean? And you blocking all of this shit out, and you're just, you use this as a catalyst, a further excuse to wake up even more. Because I promise you, I've been there, right? I kind of know how this shit is. There are people who literally put themselves back to sleep. There are literally people who willingly put themselves back to sleep. You know what I mean? They did not want to wake up. And they use situations, in the media and whatnot to give them the justification to go back into their stupor. We're doing the opposite. You know what I'm saying? We're not, we're not rebel rousing. We're not complaining about anything. All we do is just show the truth. All we do is show you the truth as it is, in plain, like unadulterated. None of this shit is AI. None of this is propaganda. The majority of the things that you're being shown, it's just, it is what it is, but I didn't hear no outcry. They talked about all of this other frivolous stuff, but they wasn't talking about the fact that they had these fighters coming out with these children. And this is the administration of any administration in the 250 years of America, outside of the ones in the earlier days that had these children as slaves and whatnot. This is the most anti-children administration on the planet.
Meeting in the Situation Room because of the information the New York Times discovered about our president and children. And it's not like the UFC is some wholesome sport. This feels more like gladiators arriving with their tributes for the emperor. I mean, hell of a birthday gift, I guess. So happy birthday, Mr. President. You have created a spectacle, and I hope you have fun, because there is an election in November, and not all of us are distracted.
Red, my big brother put me on to you, but he's back on his BS and life is hitting him hard. Listen, I ain't about to get up here and be the conscious police and whatnot. And I don't like to speak bad about anybody because shit, life be life, and people have the right to make any decisions in life that they so please. You have the right to wake up. You have the right to remain silent, and you got the right to go to sleep. I'm just stating from my standpoint, my vantage point. If I could be honest with you, over the years, I've seen the experiment over and over and over again. I'm scared to be a nigga. I'm scared to fall back into niggertude and whatnot because I've seen what it does to people. Like there must be a spiritual law that you break when you go back or when you try to fit back. It's almost like trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube and whatnot. It be ending bad for people who decide that they want to change their walk on this road less traveled and whatnot. You know what I mean? It's almost like there's a soul contract that you sign when you decide that you want to unplug from the matrix. It is almost equivalent to Cypher in the Matrix sitting down at Smith and Wolinski with Agent Smith eating that steak. Because what you want to go back to what you want to go back to the Matrix for? What are you going back to the Matrix for if it's not for carnal desires? What are you going back to the Matrix for if it's not because you tapping out on some UFC shit because life got you in a motherfucking figure four headlock? Huh? But you had signed up for this shit, and nobody, I repeat, nobody told you that this was going to be a walk in the park. Nobody. There's no elder, master teacher, nobody on any of these platforms ever said, yeah, this shit is a walk in the park. You're going to be able to, you know what I mean? You're just going to be able to walk through this thing. You're going to walk through this shit blindfold. No. You could see the stress lines. You can see the motherfucking crow lines on their face. You can see the wrinkles. You can see the gray hair. Huh? You look at the before and after some of these teachers and whatnot. This is not a walk in the park. And it ain't, I don't know. It might be just exposing yourself to the energy of the information. It may just be, what the front line does. It may be spiritual warfare, psychic warfare. Something is out here forging our people and turning them into who they ultimately have to become. You know, pressure busts pipes, but it also makes diamonds. Okay, pressure busts pipes, but it also makes diamonds and whatnot. Do not think that this is a walk in the park where you're going to be skipping through the tulips and the daffodils. But I promise you, when you make it to the other side, when you make it past the dark night of the soul, when you make it past your rites of passage, yeah, then you're going to be smiling and beguiling, and you're going to glow up, and life is going to be more simple because you'll have a better understanding that you tried something out. You applied some type of formula. You utilized some type of regimen, and that shit works for you. Not for everybody else. It's not your job to get on a soapbox and start telling everybody how to do things, because your walk is your walk. My walk is my walk. I promise you, I fell forward many a times. I've never got on these platforms and ever professed to be perfect. You know what I'm talking about? I got flaws. I've been working on them, and I will continue to work on them. I am on a path of self-discovery. You know what I'm saying? I got a big soul, you know what I mean? And to be honest with you, I got many, many lifetimes that I'm still dealing with. So my walk, even with a twin brother, we split from one egg. My walk is uniquely my walk. Of course, I'm walking, holding my brother's hand and whatnot, but his path is not my path, and my path is not his path. You know, so let's continue with this UFC shit. Okay.
He's noticing this, but the reason why Topuria and Pereira both lost is because they sabotaged themselves before the fight. Before Topuria's fight, he held a funeral for his opponent and celebrated like the fight had already ended, while Alex Pereira was one win away from becoming a 3-division champion, one of the greatest combat sports careers ever. And that's exactly what beat them, not their opponents, the moment itself. When a win becomes career-defining, something shifts in your head, because you start to let the gravity and the weight of the entire moment affect you. You get tight, calculated, you're not present, so you begin worrying about what might go wrong. Look at Justin Gaethje. He's 37 years old, he's written off, and he has nothing to lose. So he came in there and did the one thing both of them couldn't do. Just fight. That's the lesson. The bigger the moment feels, the more dangerous it is, because the weight of what's at stake pulls your focus away from the only thing that actually matters, which is what's right in front of you. It doesn't matter if it's a fight, an exam, a job interview, or a conversation that might change your life. The people who win the big moments aren't the ones who want it the most. They're the ones who don't let the moment affect them.
A good life lesson. You know, if people, you know, some people saying that shit is rigged and everything, but you know, there's life lessons to be learned. You know what I mean? In this whole demonstration, okay, there were life lessons to be learned. You know, you can't count your blessings until that shit is somewhat complete. Don't put the cart before the horse. You know what I mean? There was a form of arrogance that was taking place. Your mind was getting washed. You know what I'm saying? There's a form of arrogance. You know, you got to put in the work. I don't care who you are. Nobody is guaranteed to win. Nobody is guaranteed to win. You know what I mean? You got to put in the work. I don't care if your record is flawless. Until you catch that W, you just as bad as your last fight. You know? The work is the work. Just ask the Knicks.
Chart is amazing. This is Dana White's privilege chart, and it's pretty accurate. If you guys didn't know much about the UFC, you get pretty far if Dana loves you. So, as always, I kick this back to you guys. How do you feel about this? The only thing I would argue, now Conor, yes, has some privilege, but if he wants to ever do anything, he's going right up there. But you guys tell me.
Respectfully, this don't got nothing to do with anything, but when Cape Verde plays, can I get a schedule? I need a calendar. Y'all let me know when they playing next, okay? I got questions. Y'all let me know when Cape Verde is playing again. But let's get back to the conversation, okay? You said that he loves that sugar dude. You know, I mean, nobody can tell me this UFC shit. This is the January 6th league. This is it's literally, you know what I mean? Like, fam. This is the motherfucking Ice Federation, UFC. This is I mean, I ain't shaming nobody that watches UFC because Cambada put me on to the UFC, and I know where Kambada's heart is at. I know he's not no MAGA and everything, but Lord have mercy. You know, root for the bad guy, root for the black guys. You know what I mean? He put me on to the Nigerian dude, this mad buff, Francis, right? My dude Francis. And you know, I'm not against throwing hands and pounding somebody's face into the pavement and whatnot. I'm not against combat sports. You feel me? But I can't watch that shit. You feel me? Like I literally can't. I don't have that much hate in my heart to watch grown men in Speedos pound each other into the pavement and whatnot. Like I'm still recovering from shit that happened during the Hulkamania era. I had to weave myself off of the Hulkamania. I was a Hulkamaniac, my nigga, Ultimate Warrior and all of that. You know what I'm talking about? My dad was like, that shit is fake. I'm like, and yeah, I like John Jones. You know, he's like perfectly flawed and everything. But dude is wild strong. Okay, dude is wild strong. And you know, I seen a little bit of his story. I think it was like a 30 for 30 and whatnot. And I was like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? Son is a hot mess and whatnot. But you know, he's a champion. You know what I'm talking about? He's a champion. He's a shit talker, but he backs it up. You know, he's able to back it up. You know what I'm talking about? So yeah, man. You was a Freddy Krueger fan? Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Let us continue with this shit show of the UFC. You know. The only one that I knew was Conor McGregor, and he was the most racist dude on the planet at one time. Remember that build up to fight how much terrible stuff you got to do in your life in order to get to the same level as Charleston White? To fight Mayweather. I was triggered every time he said something on that microphone, boy. I was like, this dude is a piece of crap. You know? But the irony of everything on Donald Trump's birthday, you know, he basically hosts on a White House lawn, right? A public, he had a private event with a private company inside of a public space and whatnot, turned the White House lawn. Has anybody ever did anything like that? I gotta get into my searches and everything. Did anybody ever have like a boxing match on the White House lawn type shit? Like, did Jack Johnson fight on the White House lawn? Is this like the Mandela effect? Do I remember seeing that? I don't know, but I definitely know that this is the first time that I saw some crazy shit like that. The audacity. Even the Knicks fans in their anarchy and whatnot. Even with the Knicks fans tearing up New York and shit like that, you know, they not even as savage as these motherfucking January 6ers, these oath takers, these ICE agents that I saw when I saw clips of the goddamn White House in this fight, this dog fight that they was out here doing. You know what I'm talking about? I was like, God damn, this is savagery at its finest. You know what I mean? The only thing we was missing was a fate. Finish him. Finish him. Them people want blood. You feel me? They want blood. This is this administration, and somebody pointed out, and I have to repeat it, that the weather, they had lightning hit the goddamn mall. The lightning hit the obelisk, right? And the weather was it was basically an indicator that Baal or Moloch, because Baal and Moloch are deities of bad weather. Henceforth, while you had all of those damn storms in the Middle East and shit like that, they were summoning Baal and whatnot. Baal, sandstorms, storms, hurricanes. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that they summoned Baal, and then that shit died down, and then they got to their ritual and whatnot. You know, Lincoln and Teddy Roosevelt had wrestling matches on the White House lawn. I literally have to find out who it was because keep in mind, homie is still he's dealing with time cycle loops and everything. So he's still cloning and he's still trying to, because you see him and Andrew Jackson have a lot in common. And what he does is he taps into these ancient quote unquote energy of his forefathers and the energy that they were dealing with and the fuckery that they were summoning and everything. And that's how he does his rituals. Okay. The UFC was to expose their true savage nature. Trump was loving it. No wonder he went to sleep at the Knicks game. He was like, these niggas ain't fighting enough. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, Billy Butcher and Homelander. You feel me? That shit looked like the last fight that Billy Butcher and Homelander had inside of the Vault building and whatnot, where he basically, what did he do to Homelander? Did he break his? Did he? Oh my goodness, I still remember that. And all I know is Homelander brains was hanging out at the end. It's crazy. Did I tell y'all I cried when Homelander died? You know? So yes, on the same day of Trump's birthday, they basically allegedly ended the war. On the same day of all of the fuckery, the bread and circus, America ended the war. But they didn't just end the war, ladies and gentlemen. They admitted their defeat. Okay, America took a L. All right, that's why on this image you see the supreme leader pinning his ass and whatnot. Pause. You know what I'm talking about? With BB as the referee and whatnot. They took a L. They took a big L. You know what I'm talking about? Let's go down that rabbit hole.
It's close to achieving world peace, but then BB the Bomber was like, hello? Fuck all that. Get bombed. And it's like, whoa. He had to call him back up. Trump was like, yo, BB, what the fuck are you doing?
Spoke on the phone with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, asking him, what the F are you doing?
I finally had this deal almost signed, sealed, and delivered. And you gonna go fucking bomb Beirut? BB the Bomber had the audacity to line all this up after with a birthday post. Hey man, happy birthday. I'm about to go sabotage your peace talk and start bombing innocent people again because I'm a genocidal maniac. Openly bragging about striking Beirut, trying to blame it on Hezbollah. You've been doing that since forever. Just like Hamas. At some point in time, we gotta start moving, grooving, vibing, sliding the opposite way and slime these motherfuckers out and hang them out to dry. No more American help. See you fucking never. He knew the peace deal was being signed and he decided to bomb Beirut. That's a city of 2.5 million fucking people. And their excuses, well, they were trying to bomb us. No, they weren't. Trump honestly knows now. He's like, oh shit, they just be fucking lying. And anytime I get anywhere close to peace, they go bomb. And this is a residential fucking neighborhood. Scientists everywhere are freaking the fuck out. Basically, we leaving Israel out to dry. Where it's like, no. We're reaching a deal. Stop fucking bombing Lebanon. Because Iran told us, if you keep on doing that, there is no deal. That means Strait of Hormuz stays closed. Iran has said, hey, no, we'll never have a nuclear weapon. AKA, it's the same exact thing that they had with Obama, but now they just get billions and billions of dollars. But they realized, okay, if we just gonna talk to Trump, we need to bring in a psychiatrist because clearly this man is not mentally stable. And since then, negotiations have been amazing. But now BB the Bomber is fucking sabotaging that.
Diplomat involved in the talks told Fox News the strikes today in Beirut are creating issues with finalizing the deal. They went on to accuse Israel of sabotaging this agreement. The Israelis are pushing back, saying that their civilians are under threat.
They're trying to currently sabotage our entire country. And so then you have these Zionist puppets that are freaking the fuck out, saying, no, America needs to stay over there. We need to stay at war. It's like, no, we don't. That's not our problem.
30 days to fully mature or 2 weeks to fully mature, but it will start immediately, as the president has said. And by the way, I think your viewers need to remember, Project Freedom never stopped, and we've run 125 million barrels of oil through the straits, and Iran couldn't do anything about it. Yeah. How many ships from Iran have transited our blockade? Zero. We have controlled the straits this entire time.
Kenny Hegseth is such an idiot. He never ceases to amaze me because with all that word slap, all you said was that we don't actually control the Strait of Hormuz and we're trying to get it open. Even though you're trying to say we've been controlling it the entire time. They said Project Freedom never ended. Then what was the point of calling the next shit Epic Fury? Just saying. But most importantly, the Knicks got a championship. Hopefully we can say fuck our greatest liability over there and never send another troop to help them out ever again. I mean, are you shitting me?
Now, our good sister Chocolate Godiva, she might be one of the hardest workers on this shit right now. Like, I want y'all to she got her Cash App and everything. I done blessed her a few times. I want y'all to take care of this sister, man. Send her some love and whatnot, and tell her that it's coming from Know the Ledge, KTL and whatnot. You know what I mean? Let her know that you a KTLian. But she done put in some work. I got 2 clips from her, and them shits are lengthy. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna get to her in 1 minute. But before we get to her, let me show you the video of the man who called your first lady a man. Your first lady a man. You know what I mean? Yeah. So him, yeah, let's see what's going on.
Thought he bought a pint, but this ain't that, bro. I just hit a 5. Oh, you want to buy some?
So you see the ritual though, right? I think this might have been the only black on the card, if my memory serves me correct. So after he beat the shit out of the black dude, that's when he made that statement about Michelle Obama, and nobody batted an eye about it. Imagine anybody, I mean, sans all of the other stupid shit that niggas be laughing about when it comes to the Obamas and whatnot, there's still some type of protocol that must be followed. Fuck that. The NFL, you couldn't do that. The NBA, you couldn't do that. Nowhere can you do some dumb shit like that, especially on in front of the White House, in front of military members and everything. You know what I'm talking about? In front of the bro. So the symbolism in this whole thing looks crazy to me. You know what I mean? Symbolism in this whole thing looks crazy to me. Nobody should be saying anything about that event in any type of positive light. That is one of the most egregious things that I probably ever seen, bro. You know what I mean? But of course, they're going to try to sweep that under the rug, and they're just going to do a little bit of rebel rousing and a little bit of whining and crying and whatnot, but ain't shit finna be done. They're supposed to, his ass supposed to have been fired that night. He's supposed to have been fired that night. They locked up, Sean Strickland is his name, for just popping up and whatnot. When he wasn't invited and whatnot, they put his ass in handcuffs. You know, I'm going to the extreme with it, but you know what I mean? They should have did something to that boy. You know what I mean? So look forward to seeing him on Joe Rogan. You know what I mean? He might be with Aiden Ross. He's going to be with Chud the Builder soon. You know what I'm talking about? They're going to low key him and he going to be premiering in a Kid Rock video and shit. You know how they do. You know how Brewhouse get to work.
When the NFL
Brewhouse get to work. You know what I'm talking about? I don't gotta say nothing else. Y'all know what to do. Y'all know what to do. You know? Fuck around.
After seeing the results of New York damn near.
If she a man, if that's what it is, then let somebody, let Oprah blow it up. I don't know. I'm just saying. Let somebody who don't hate our people. And at the end of the day, that ain't really nobody business at the end of the day. Like, what the fuck? You know? But it's definitely all scripted. It's definitely all scripted and whatnot. They're going to use him as the bad guy, but y'all see what's going on. Let us continue. Oh, yes, Chocolate. Godiva. Good day. Talk black to me. Talk to me, child.
What if I told you that the real reason that America decided to pull back on the ground invasion to the Fordo facilities and the nuclear facilities within Iran wasn't because they ran out of interceptor missile fuels, or they suddenly just woke up one day and was like, yeah, let's go ahead and be cooperative. But instead, it's because Iran already set everything up so that America had no other choice but to reveal their true cards. Let's go ahead and get into it. So in the first video, we talked about the Strait of Hormuz and how the potential the finalization of the agreement in which the Strait of Hormuz will be open for 60 days straight, so that basically anybody and everybody besides Israel are allowed to enter and exit into the Strait of Hormuz and allow their shipments to go, so long as they pay that $2 million fee for upwards of 60 days. as long as they keep it cute, okay? Now, some important key events leading up to this that we should consider. One, America had tried numerous times for well over 6 months to get weaponry over to Israel, and all of those attempts failed. They attempted to land at several of their associates, allies, if you will, a part of the G22 and the G7 attempted to land in places like Greece, Italy, and they were denied every single time. America also tried to get the weaponry and artillery over to Israel via land, and they were denied every single time, or there was some kind of hiccup where either Iran or Lebanon or Hezbollah, the resistance, were able to intercept, and it just did not go the way that they thought it was going to go. They mainly attempted to do so through Iran or around Iran, and it just did not work out for them. That being said, America thought that it would be a breeze to go at Iran's nuclear facilities, and as you saw in the previous video, or even if you didn't, they were unsuccessful. They attempted to do a ground invasion, or Donald Trump announced that they were set to do a ground invasion because they wanted to strong arm Iran into signing some form of agreement, and thought that Iran would be willing to sit down and listen to them and hear them out, just at the idea of America stopping the bullshit that they've been doing in the Strait of Hormuz and in Babur, on the edge of the Gulf of Iran, the Persian Gulf. Okay, all right, so you with me? So again, they attempted to basically do the ground invasion and then pull the plug. But the reason why they pulled the plug is because despite them America thinking that they had the ability to do so, or that it would take almost everything within their power to get the job done. Because remember, Iran basically depleted America's entire arsenal. Like the resistance depleted America in so many ways to the point where we can't even pick a fight with China, even if we want to. And you know that's America's favorite thing to do. So now they like, we have no other choice but to drive this motherfucker home because we ain't got nothing to show from this bullshit. We done lost way too much. Okay. Now they had to pull back on that because if you got to use everything you got, I would hate for you to use everything you got, get to the facility, and there's a mile-long blockage because Iran done blew the fuck up out them tunnels. Yes, God. So even if you got there, you don't have the time, the resources, or the capabilities to be able to get into those facilities and remove anything. America does everything quick, fast, and in a hurry. Okay? They got to do sneak attacks. You won't be able to do that on Iran. You won't have the ability, the capabilities. You won't even have the time, baby. Don't worry about it. Iran said, don't worry about it. You will never get your hands on my shit. And even if you get in there, how do you know that it's in there? How do you know? How do you know? And America was like, because I know. I've been spying and da-da-da. And it was like, do you though? Because you were really certain before that our shit was inside of that last facility in Isfahan. And it wasn't there. We moved it at the last minute. So my question to you is, even if you do get through that mile-long tunnel that we blew up and has completely caved in, how do you know that the shit is still in there? Exactly, you don't. So you just look dumb in front of the whole world. Do y'all know that Iran is so superior that they had to hire psychologists to help them do this negotiation with Donald Trump? That's right. So little birdie told me, i.e. the cradle, that Iran had to hire psychologists. They had to develop psychological profiles on the president himself because the behavior that he exhibits is so erratic, is so out of this world. It is not something that they themselves can cooperate with, that they can deal with. They just aren't understanding what the fuck is going on, and that he genuinely seems legitimately mentally ill. No, real quick, all professionalism aside, this was such a key. No, you ate that. This was the most respectful key I've ever seen. Like, when I tell you, when they showed up to that meeting and they more than likely found out right then and there, like, we have psychological mediators here. Hey, this is this person. This is what they're doing. Da, da, da. Oh my God. The cracking up that was probably happening in that bathroom in between, the talks and shit. To be a fly on that motherfucking wall. I know they was cracking the fuck up in that bathroom. Like, did these motherfuckers bring psychological evaluators to the negotiation? Oh, that's disrespectful. Oh my God. They said he is operating in a state of mental incapacity. He mentally incapacitated. So they had to bring in professionals in order to do it. This is so messy. Oh my God. Excuse me. The Breaking Points podcast episode that was released on June 12th were able to provide those in-depth details on what took place. These experts were added to the team a few weeks ago to help navigate what the Iranians described as a clinical challenge. Bitch, did they just call you remedial? They said that you clinically challenged. Mind you, remind you, the president is a reflection of the nation it serves. Wow. My God, on today. Wow. This is the key of all keys. The T's of all T's. Sources indicate that the approach, which treats the president essentially as a patient, has already yielded progress in the negotiations. So, okay, if I'm hearing you correctly, you hired a team, not just one, but a whole team of psychologists to develop a profile on him, like he's a psych patient or a criminal or both. They developed an entire script of how you can approach. You told them what you want to get done. You gave them the talking points and the breaking points. They rigmarooled it and said, this how you got to go about it. Because judging by what we have determined, these are the things that are wrong with him. The only way you're going to be able to get this done is if you do this, that, and the third. Because you know he a little slow. He a lot of slow. He very cuckoo. And he be falling asleep in the middle of the meeting. So whoa. My bad. Walgreens always seems to call at the wrong time, okay? They always seem to call it the wrong time. Recent reports of him dozing off during the meetings and exhibiting various physical symptoms have heightened international concerns. For those of you guys that missed it last week and the week before last, they were Marco Rubio and a couple other people, part of the Trump administration's cabinet. They had to go before Congress and basically answer the questions about him falling asleep in those meetings, how he's not a fit to actually keep doing his job or to be able to hold those positions. And then we saw on the news one of the meetings they had in the White House where he was literally just dead asleep. The only thing he was missing was his mouth being cocked wide open and drool coming down inside of his mouth because he was asleep the whole time. The gentleman in back of him is talking about, oh, Trump want to do this, Trump want to do that. Trump sleep the whole motherfucking time. Like, he's literally knocked the fuck out. Catching some Z's on camera, live, while it's broadcasting internationally. The fuck going on over there? No, seriously, what the fuck going on over there? Why is he, you know what? See, I know what y'all trying to do, and you're not going to get it out of me. Long story short, everything that Iran is doing right now, not only is this shit insanely hilarious, this is going to go down in history so many nuances. I mean, there's going to be so many history books that come from this. McGraw-Hill is definitely going to tank and stop because a bunch of historian companies, they're going to start popping up out of nowhere, baby. They ain't going to ever let America lay this shit down. Okay? They not going to never miss an opportunity to tell the truth about America, especially with the way that McGraw-Hill been telling them lies the majority of our lives. Oh, baby, they about to get their look back tenfold. This shit is embarrassing. But also, shout out to Iran for approaching the situation because America, imagine going through all this, right? Showing up, finally agreeing to the negotiations, showing up to the negotiations via mediators in the whole motherfucking time. The things that they want, you done already moved them. You done blew up the tunnels. It's a mile long for them to get to the tunnels. You already holding it down in the Strait of Hormuz. The Gulf of Oman holding it down. Yemen and shut down the whole Red Sea. This whole motherfucker is lights out. This shit shut down from the rooter to the motherfucking to the. You done did all this shit. Then you show up to the meeting with a whole fucking team of psychological analysts, knowing good and goddamn well you was never coming up off that. Yo, like Iran. Oh my God. Like, they are quite literally menaces. We thought America was a menace. Iran's menacing is so fucking hilarious. It's quite literally the key that makes you think about it for weeks. Like, these motherfuckers are so unintentionally hilarious. Anyways, y'all, I just thought that y'all should know. Stay tuned, because there's a lot more to fucking go.
That the United States may be giving billions of dollars to help Iran with reconstruction efforts. So let me just make something clear. The United States spent billions of dollars to destroy parts of Iran and will now spend billions of dollars to help rebuild parts of Iran. Now, this money will only go to Iran for reconstruction if certain benchmarks are met as part of this memorandum of understanding, but it's on the table. And I'm old enough to remember when Donald Trump and J.D. Vance attacked President Obama for giving, quote, pallets of cash to Iran as part of the original JCPOA, the original Iran nuclear deal. And well, now, years later, it looks like we're giving a lot more pallets of cash, this time to rebuild what our taxpayer dollars already destroyed. So that's kind of where we're at right now. The final deal won't be signed until Friday. We'll see what happens then. Spread the word. And as always, follow along to stay up to date on all the news you need to know about. I'll have another update for you shortly.
Yes.
President J.D. Vance has confirmed that the United
Take that L. Okay, this part 2 from Godiva. This one is kind of long, so I'm gonna stop it in the middle of it for commentary and whatnot. But let's go.
What if I told you that the real reason that America decided to pull back on the ground invasion to...
No, not that one, beloved. We just played that. Let's pull up the next one. The next one. Like I said, sis been working. She been working, y'all. I'm very proud of her. She been putting in mad work. Damn near every day on my timeline, she popping up.
Charles, come in, sit down, shut up, buckle in, because it's time to get down to the geopolitics and the key keys. This one is starting off a little bit domestically. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Hey, how you doing? I'm your host, Rogan. I've got us from the News Network, here to bring you the geopolitics and key keys from overseas. Let's do this. So the Iranian portion of the World Cup, or the Iranian team, they just showed up in LA today, and I'm sure they're already, real good and snuggled into what they're supposed to be doing today. But I thought it was great to an honorable mention, especially on an occasion like today, seeing as though apparently Iran is set to sign the memorandum of understanding this Friday, y'all. You heard me accurately. So the Iranian team that is supposed to be showing up for the World Cup, they actually stayed in Tijuana, I believe. And they basically came over from Mexico, and they were blocked from staying in the United States for any time frame or duration longer than their participation within the World Cup. So I wanted to go ahead and give them a huge shout out because, girl, y'all need to eat down. Do you hear me? This is a monumental occasion in which Iran needs to be celebrating, and the Iranians that are showing up for the World Cup today, y'all better hold it down. Do you hear me? Because according to the Iranian speaker Ismail, I believe his name is like Ismail Bahiri, I'm saying it wrong, but y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. According to him, the United States and Iran have reached a area that they were able to agree on, and that they are set to basically sign the memorandum of understanding, essentially igniting the 60-day ceasefire, which basically would reopen the Strait of Hormuz like we just talked. But why isn't this also a joyous occasion for everyone? Well, because in Lebanon, they're still getting struck. Yeah, in southern Lebanon, they're still getting airstrikes. I mean, I'm talking to moving vehicles. I'm talking to buildings. Not only that, it turns out that it goes just a little bit deeper than what Benjamin Netanyahu and his entire Israeli cabinet are saying at the surface. Now, again, my heart truly goes out to the Lebanese right now, because despite this being on the table, it's important to understand that the fight was so much bigger than Iran, and it's been that way. Iran didn't have to keep telling y'all that the fight was much bigger than what they were standing up for themselves. They just showed you motherfuckers. And I'm just here to say, hell yeah! Shout out to Lebanon, shout out to Iran, all of them niggas, all my niggas. Shout out to all the niggas, for real. Because they showed you way better than they could tell you that they was not walking away from this situation unless they had certainty that Lebanon would be included in it. Now, here's the thing. Because of that, Benjamin Netanyahu and his entire cabinet are at the surface big hating. Do you hear me? They big hating. Drinking that haterade by the fucking gallon. So of course I expected for them to do some last minute strikes on the area, because we've seen this before. This is the behavior they've exhibited before. When they can't get their way, they'll leave. They'll say that they're not gonna leave. They're gonna leave. They are. Yes, they are. But on their way out, they're going to throw the biggest temper tantrum and hissy fit because they don't want to accept defeat. Now, I figured that you guys would like to see how all of that is taking place. And it may be in 2 parts, but just stick with me, okay? Pay your donation and then stick with me. And we might have a second video after this. I don't know. Let's keep it. So immediately after there was confirmation globally that all of this was pretty much set in stone as set in stone could be until everything is officially signed on Friday. Immediately Israel jumped out with the fuck shit. Immediately they sent their drones over to Beirut. Mind you, you're not supposed to fucking be over there. What are you doing? What are you doing? And then America decided to shoot down some drones over the Strait of Hormuz. What the fuck are y'all niggas doing? What's going on, sister? Because it's giving very much you want an ass whooping, okay? So some things to update you guys on and to be clear about. Right after everything had been pretty much ironed out on the Iranian side with Pakistan speaking on behalf of them, Iran, or Abbas Araghchi, he ended up calling up Lebanon and basically letting them know via Nabi Berri, who's the speaker, the Lebanese parliament speaker, right? And the dust is still trying to settle. The ink is still trying to dry off the final draft. The fact that they came to a conclusion of the final draft and they all agreed, like, yeah, let's go ahead and sign it this Friday, woo. Abbas, he round the clock. Abbas is round the clock. That man don't stop working. Do you understand me? He don't take no breaks. All gas, straight pedal. Pedal to the motherfucking metal, no breaks. Everybody and their mama is coming to the service. Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. Mayors from Denmark, they like, oh, thank you. I know y'all wondering why Mayors is included in this. Mayors this entire time was helping America and Israel and Iran, Yemen, and Lebanon has gone upside their head numerous times. Yes, God. Yes. Particularly Yemen. Yemen took Mayors down through that motherfucker too many times. So of course, Mayors being one of the larger companies that ships pretty much globally for every major corporation that you could think of, ships their products. They like, bruh, oh shit. Cause the way them Yemenis scalped my ass the last time, I couldn't wait for this shit to be over and done with because they have lost millions of dollars due to the blockade on not only the Red Sea, but also the Strait of Hormuz. And then you factor in the UN human rights chief, and you factor in the fact that he also came out and was clapping, and everybody excited, but not everybody is as excited. Let's circle back to level. Because this fucking vanilla milk bed head motherfucker is mad as shit. I read his whole speech and I was like, you're a hater. Bitch, you're a hater. You're a fucking hater, Joseph. You're a hater. You's a hating asshole. And showing up, Iran embarrassed the fuck out of you right back. You called yourself trying to take shots and they embarrassed your ass. Now you look goofy as fuck. You look dumb as shit. And you have no other choice but to say their name. They're over there waxing that ass and you ain't got no other choice but to say, what's my name, bitch? Say my name. That's basically what Iran is doing to you. Because you have no other choice but to come to the surface and address this shit. Nabi Berri was speaking on Lebanon's behalf, which I'm sure you had, correspondence on, but you're not in those rooms. You're not the big dog around this motherfucker, and they was never looking to you for guidance or any kind of correspondence. Nobody was looking for you to concur, but you still have no other choice but to come to the surface and speak on it because you're not the one that waged this peace. Israel has no other choice but to abide by it. They're going to put up a fight. They're going to throw them hands on the way out. But they have no other choice but to abide by it. That's something that you couldn't do. And I know.
You know the irony of what's going on with this whole Iranian thing? This is the proverbial David and Goliath. There are people out there around the world rooting for the underdog. This whole underdog theme is definitely being very prevalent in I would call the fire horse year, right? This is not a news cycle. This is a procession of the equinox. It has everything to do with what Ross Ben laid down in the beginning of this year. This has everything to do with the quote unquote Aquarius in Neptune in Aquarius. This has everything to do with the fire horse year that we're in 2026 and whatnot. So you're going to see a lot more of these type of indicators and whatnot. The underdog story, it's a it's an archetype, damn near. It's a theme that has been going on and whatnot. So as the underdogs, right? If you really could feel this is going to be a red summer, I could feel it in my bones. I remember how 2020 was building up and whatnot. This shit is a fucking powder keg. And literally, the summer has not even started on record and whatnot. That what is that? The 21st, right? The equinox, the solstice, I mean. But yeah, you saw that with Jalen Brunson, right? The predator versus the alien and whatnot. They were the underdogs. Vegas had them betted. They were betted against. They were betting against them and whatnot. Even in the UFC and whatnot, there's a bunch of upsets. These were underdogs kicking ass and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? This is the year of the underdog in the motherfucking comeback. So all I'm saying for those that are out there who know how to grab shit out of the cosmos and channel energy and whatnot, for those who know how to channel the energy, this is our time. All right. New York is the proverbial underdog city. Let's just we'll talk about it in a minute when we pull up certain receipts and whatnot. They've been counted out. The city was washed. The city was counted out. There's a mass exodus of the city. The city was considered to be a failed city. You know, I'm talking about the amount of New Yorkers that are spread out all around the world and whatnot. They was giving New York City a middle finger. You feel me? I'm just keeping it a buck, right? And now this is one of the most, if you're not in New York on Thursday, they're gonna be looking at you crazy. If you're not in New York on Thursday, they're gonna be looking at you crazy and whatnot. If you're not going live from the town and whatnot, it's like, damn, where are you at, nigga? It's like, what the fuck? So tables gonna turn. Things are going to be different from what they appear. I repeat, do not count yourself out. Do not look at circumstances and then be like, no, shit will change. But you gotta put in the you gotta be disciplined. You have to have some type of you gotta have some type of testicular fortitude and whatnot. You dig? Like you're gonna have to reach. Look at what Cape Verde did. The underdogs on Spain's ass. You know what I'm saying? Look at what Cape Verde did and whatnot. Look at what who else did the tie and whatnot. Who else? There's a few underdog stories popping out of this World Cup, but Cape Verde is the one that stands out a lot. Okay. But yeah, that's what we're witnessing. That's what we're witnessing. You know what I'm talking about? And I want to utilize what we would call the collective effervescence. I'm gonna pull it up and we're gonna talk about it. I'm sorry, Godiva. I'm gonna get back to you in a minute, beloved. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna talk about this energy right here. Okay. The Knicks just accidentally ran the biggest neuroscience experiment in history. Huh? Right? The biggest neuroscience experiment in history. Okay. We tapped into something called the collective effervescence. That's why you're seeing the energy shift like that. Remove remove your critiques of what you may see as a New Yorker. I get it. The New York hate sometimes could be warranted. I understand it. You know what I mean? I understand it. You literally got to be from the city sometimes to understand the city. It's not, I be trying to explain to people who are not from the city and they don't get it. But when I bring them to the city and they drink the tap water and I get them a chopped cheese and whatnot, and they get to smell the air, after a while, they're able to understand why people function the way that they function in this city and whatnot. I've traveled a lot of places. Just the foot traffic is never this. I've never seen this type of foot traffic anywhere else around the world. This New York shit is an experiment. Okay, it's an experiment, and it could be a failed experiment. But this time around, we've seen that this. We've seen the experiment fail, and we've seen the experiment work.
Did you see this?
Okay, we've seen it fail, and we've seen it work. Let me just pop this on.
I tried to boycott.
Let me show you this.
Last night, the entire city lost its.
Let me show you this. I got a clip that breaks this shit down. eloquently, poetically, you know?
So when the NFL
Poetically. Let me see where the damn clip is at.
It's 11 p.m. the other night, and my phone will not stop.
Check it out.
It's my mother, my uncles, my cousin. PM the other night, and my phone.
Hold on, sis. Let me finish with this effervescence thing, because this is a real thing, right? This is a real thing. Just think about it. You know what I mean? People have pent up emotions, pent up energy, pent up things. We somehow connected like a Wi-Fi signal. We somehow connected to one thing, monoculture. We tapped into a energy. We tapped into a feeling. Our nervous system was settled as a result of that. Understand it. Healing is beginning to take place. I promise you, men are crying. There's nothing wrong with that. Men are crying, right? Your heart rhythms were synchronized with strangers. Cardiac coherence is contagious. When people share intense emotion, their nervous systems literally entrain that electric feeling, real data. So you didn't have to be from New York to tap into that feeling. You didn't, you know, there's all of this thing. What's a real New Yorker and all of that? That shit, put that to the side. That don't got nothing to do with the feeling. That don't got nothing to do with the magic. That don't got nothing to do with what we're witnessing and whatnot. You know what I mean? This is not just some crazed ass New York fan trying to get y'all on a New York bandwagon and say done and my heart. And no, this is not that. You know how I move. I'm not even on no, I don't set trip on cities and stupid shit like that. I'm just explaining a feeling that we're feeling, that we're witnessing. And I don't want anybody to get involved. I don't want anybody to cut their nose off to spite their face and tap into collective hate when we have something called collective effervescence. And once again, we are what? The sorcerers from Corsica. What are we? We are alchemists. All of us, not me. I'm just here to remind you. I would be in the audience letting you tell me how to, you know what I mean? It's vice versa. We are alchemists. What do? We transmute energy. So even with the F stuff that's going on around the world, even with the negativity, all of these things, what are we going to be doing? Channeling that shit, putting it in a cauldron and cooking it up. We are going to turn it into a positive. We are going to create art. We're going to make music. We're going to make apparel. We're going to make clothes. We're going to write rhymes. We're going to write poetry. We're going to write books. You got to do something with the energy besides just grounding it. Y'all all from New York right now. You get a pass from Uncle Phil. I'll be the mayor. I'm Mom Dondi's right-hand man. I'll give you, you know what I mean? Y'all got a 72-hour pass. Okay, we all New Yorkers. We could tap into the energy. Even if you from San Antonio, I'm not mad at you. We'll talk about things later and whatnot. We're gonna tax you. You know, y'all gotta pay us a tax. But we all New Yorkers right now. The feeling, don't worry about it. You don't got no Timbs and everything. It's all good, my nigga. You could put them lugs on and act like they Timbs. You know what I'm saying? You could put those. You could put the Mexican Jordans on from. The ones that Lord Jamal was wearing and act like they Timbs, act like they Ewans and whatnot. Just tap into the energy. Tap into the energy and do something with it. Okay? That's all we saying. So
that's eating.
Chill, shorty. Chill. Relax. You from Kentucky. Relax. We talking this New York shit right now. Chill. So the Empire State Building felt it. Right, the aliveness of the city. The city is alive. There's something about something waking up inside. It's not just this. It's the collective effervescence of the people waking up. And to be honest with you, it is contagious. Similar to how hate is contagious. That hate coming from the White House. That hate coming from the USC. You feel me? That's a little contagious and whatnot. I just wanted to cover that in the beginning. Get that shit out the way. You know what I mean? Get that negativity and all of that stupid shit. Get that out the way. Most of us have been living in functional freeze, functioning, managing, surviving. But that's not actually feeling, ladies and gentlemen. And this week, New York thawed out and we all felt it, right? We just all been functioning. By show of hands, I don't want to assume and whatnot. Put a 1 in the chat if you just been functioning. You know what I'm saying? If you just been functioning in the past
you know, what do we say, 5, 6, 7 years? You know, niggas just been functioning. You know what I'm saying? Because I've been feeling like that. I've been feeling like that. Feel alive and whatnot, wanting to break what you would call the monotonous, wanting to get out of the proverbial Groundhog Day, or what they call the hamster's wheel. When, you know, when they made us sit down during C-19 and whatnot, like that was a good thing for me because I was always outside. I never was taking a break. I told y'all before, in New York, if you basically stayed in the house for 2 days, you were like your own spirit guide. Your spirit would tell, your soul was like, you a failure. Your mirror would crack. You couldn't even look at yourself because New Yorkers can't stay inside the house. It's just too much to do. We in such survival mode. Your ass got to be outside every day doing something. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't lay around the house. So the minute we broke that cycle and started doing something different, a nigga started feeling alive. I was able to get in album mode. That's when I made the Red Summer album. I started recording the Red Summer album. Matter of fact, I did Theta Waves in 2020. How about that? Theta Waves is from 2020, bro. It's from the energy and the run of the Red Summer. That's why it's gonna be on the Red Summer Deluxe. You feel me? We didn't just make that the other day. That's from 2020. So I just want everybody to tap into an energy that is a little more positive than the rage baiting energy, than this shit about Michelle Obama got a you know what I mean? She got a you know, that she's a man, and not fuck out of here. Not now, nigga. Not now, nigga. That's not what we here for. That's some stupid childhood shit. Fuck out. We not talking about that. I'm igging all of that. You know what I mean? If y'all, you know what I'm saying? Y'all get one of y'all best and let them throw hands with homie if it offended you. We tapping into the real energy. Don't let this shit, don't get distracted. Black men are crying. Black men are crying tears of joy. They not crying because they don't have, you know what I mean? They're not crying in fear. They're not crying because of their trauma. They crying tears of joy. Niggas is thawing out. You know what I mean? And they're using these men right here as catalysts and whatnot. There's nothing wrong with that. That is what sports is. It is monoculture. We could project ourselves on winners and whatnot and feel their energy. It's nothing wrong with that. That's why we tap into sports. There's three, what is it? There's three universal languages, right? There's fashion, there's music, and then there's sports. Okay, those are universal languages. It appeals to any and everybody, irregardless of your nationality, your tax bracket, your age, and all of these other things. It is it's a charge, right, that you can draw from like an account. Sports, fashion, music, universal. You don't need to speak the language to understand it. So a nigga tapped in. And I'm not even a sports guy like that, but I'm charged. You know what I'm saying? I'm charged up. You know? And there's going to be big things that are going to come out of this. Trust. And it's not just me, bro. It is not just me. This is going to happen across the board. I promise you. But what we can't have is people pulling us back into our trauma and have us pulling us back into our ice where our hearts were made of, where we had heavy hearts and we were in a frozen state, like Han Solo in Empire Strikes Back. But yeah, the motherfucking Empire has struck him back. We got to make the best out of it. You know what I'm talking about? We're gonna have to make the best out of it. So yeah, this summer is gonna be one for the record books. Trust me. You don't have to wait for a championship to feel the collective effervescence. It's available to you, right? Text a friend, show up somewhere. Your heart is wired for this, right? So there's people representing their countries in the World Bowl and whatnot, feeling the World Cup. They feeling the collective effervescence and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? There's people out here, they just going in, they don't even have a team that they rooting for. They just going in the crowd, and whoever's rooting for the winner, they just tapping into that energy. They like, yeah, that's my team for the day. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that, you know? So check this shit out. She breaks this shit down in ways that I would love to articulate.
PM the other night, and my phone will not stop buzzing. It's my mother, my uncles, my cousins, my sisters in Brooklyn. Multiple group chats on fire. My family is texting like they own the Knicks. That's how passionate they are about the game. Now, I'm not a native New Yorker, but I am the daughter of generations of them. And somewhere between those texts, I began to realize that we are not just talking about basketball. I am watching probably the best brand on earth do exactly what it was built to do. Let's just think about what New York actually promises you. Every other brand in the world promises to make your life easier, make things faster, put your mind at ease. But New York promises the opposite of that. This place is going to be hard, it's going to cost you a lot of money, and it will not care about you. But if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So with New York, the promise is the test, and surviving it becomes proof of who you are and who you continue to evolve into. Which raises another obvious question. Why would anyone take that deal? Well, people who want something badly. And that filter selects for one thing, and that is hunger. You don't have to have the background, you don't really have to have the pedigree, you don't even have to have the wealth even, which is why every background shows up in New York. Now, this melting pot is not some civic virtue. When your cost of entry selects for hunger, you do not have to recruit your most aligned people. They self-select themselves. 8 million people who all said yes to the same exact test, stacked in 300 square miles.
I need y'all to understand what sis is breaking down. Like, she's going the F in. I've really never heard nobody paint a picture about the city like this. But God damn it, if everything she ain't saying is a facsimile, then shit, my name ain't Philip Thomas Moreland. You know what I mean? Like, think about what she's saying. Think about what she's saying. That's what, you know, people sometimes don't understand what New York is. And you know what the code of New York is. Like, why are people doing this to themselves? Why would you live out there? Oh, it's so many people on top of one another. I'm like, we signed up for the struggle, but we signed up for the struggle because the struggle is the rites of passage. It is our proverbial hero journey. It is literally what is building us up and making us the people that we are. Right? It's forging us. Okay. And there's so many people from around the world who tapped in and they agreed that this is going to be their struggle. And they agreed that this is going to be their journey. And they agreed that this is going to be their work and whatnot, irregardless of what is the consequences. Because we know what comes with the consequence. Your ass could end up in a mental institution. You could end up underneath the motherfucking George Washington Bridge inside of a cardboard box. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? You know, with your free Wi-Fi, you could wind up in a lot of different places. But that's the challenge that people sign up and say, sign me up. I'm here for this shit. It is what it is. Let's go. Right? So that New York attitude of resilience, that New York attitude of hunger, that New York attitude of nonstop quote unquote scheming and whatnot. You know what I mean? Scheming, thinking of a master plan. It ain't nothing but sweat inside my hands. You know, the way that we have our mind on our money and whatnot, the way that we're always coming up with all of these different ways to present ourselves, to brand ourselves, to get out there and whatnot. It's a part of the fact that we are in the Squid Game. We are literally inside of a Squid Game harness for real. You know what I mean? This shit is a social experiment, but there's a way to win it. So with the Knicks winning and whatnot, it is a profound, symbolic, and quote unquote emotional and an energetic charge. And it's going to have proverbial effects. Check it out. Let's keep going with her.
And surviving it becomes proof of who you are and who you continue to evolve into. Which raises another obvious question. Why would anyone take that deal? Well, people who want something badly. And that filter selects for one thing, and that is hunger. You don't have to have the background, you don't really have to have the pedigree, you don't even have to have the wealth even, which is why every background shows up in New York. Now, this melting pot is not some civic virtue. When your cost of entry selects for hunger, you do not have to recruit your most aligned people. They self-select themselves. 8 million people who all said yes to the same exact test, stacked in 300 square miles. Communities built on sameness are actually quite fragile, where communities built on a shared cause are more permanent. They never really lose their edge. And that bleeds into the many tentacles of New York. Cuisine had to survive the most competitive restaurant market alive, even the art and the creative scene, because creative people get better by bumping into other creative people, and you can only do that when you are in proximity to each other. And then the outsized opportunity of New York, the surface area of 8 million hungry people bumping into each other daily of all different wealth statuses, at least gives you a chance to bump into someone. Now, I know New York has changed a lot in the last 20 years, but it still has the same brand. The takeaway here for you is when you narrow the interest, you earn the right to make the world inside of that enormous. So when the Knicks closed a 29-point lead, the biggest comeback in finals history, my family wasn't just watching a team win, they were watching years of grit and survival begin to pay off. So remember, difficulty is good. It filters for you, and filters create density, and density creates the payoff. Now, the cost of living in New York is out of control, but the cost of survival and then the payoff of that is what makes New York, New York. See you on the next episode.
Yes, man. Please, I can't tell people who not to hate. I can't tell people who to like and everything, but I could definitely help people understand other people. You know what I mean? So we can have a better understanding about what makes each one of us tick, because that still is the journey of discovery, correct?
Last night, the entire city lost its mind over a basketball game.
Let's go.
Last night, the entire city lost its mind over a basketball game. 53 years of waiting, millions of strangers all screaming the same thing at the same time. And it really made me realize something. Like, New York might be the greatest social experiment ever pulled off. Like, let's think about it for a second, right? You got millions of people. They speak every language, every religion, every race, every food, and every tradition. Somehow it just works. But it's not because everyone's the same. Because let's be clear, anytime you've gone to New York, visit your cousins in New York, nobody's the same. But it works because nobody expects everyone to be the same. So, for example, I can go buy me a bacon, egg, and cheese from a Dominican bodega, call the cashier up, and nobody bat an eye. I said I went and bought me a pork, bacon, egg, and cheese from a Dominican bodega and said, "What's up, op?" And then I went down and got me a sandwich from the Jewish deli. I heard Spanish, Arabic, Mandarin, and Jamaican patois all before I got to the train. And nobody thinks that's unusual. Like, that's just a Tuesday. Then this month alone, you got to think about everything that June is going to encompass for them. So really, we got Pride celebrations, Puerto Rican Day Parade, the Knicks Championship Parade is Thursday, Juneteenth is on Friday. Brazilian soccer fans, they here right now, taking over entire neighborhoods for the World Cup. We got street festivals and block parties. Today is Sunday, so you got church services, mosques, temples, synagogues. We all exist, all in the same city. And instead of asking people to become less of who they are, New York somehow said, we're going to become more because of who everyone is. That's the lesson. That's the lesson right there. Like, America spends so much time arguing over differences. New York monetizes them, baby. Monetize them. You hear me? Celebrates people, cook with them, dance with them, build entire neighborhoods around them, and then turned it into culture. Like, imagine what this country could be. Imagine what this country would look like if we ran toward what every community contributes instead of running away from it. Because the secret sauce isn't diversity. Like, diversity is everywhere. I've traveled all across the world. Like, diversity is everywhere. There are plenty of places that are diverse. The secret sauce is refusing to be afraid of it.
A beautiful lady just said a word, man. She just said a word, Diversity is not running away from the differences. It's running to it.
would y'all say, based off of what you know about me and the way I carry myself and my message, that I am a diversity advocate? Albeit, I call the bullshit out because it needs to be called out. But would you say that this platform is pro diversity? I like to see people come together, and I like to see things work out. But I'm not with no fuckery. It don't matter who you are. I can't stand tomfoolery. And I love to educate. You know what I mean? I love the educational factor because sometimes we got to learn some things. And I found, because I was super ignorant when I didn't know, I realized that education and consciousness or knowing, it actually helped. You know what I'm saying? It helped bridge a lot of gaps, and it helped me mature as a man, and I was able to help others and build bridges as a result of that. So I'm glad that she brought that up. I'm not an easy character to understand. You feel me? You can't necessarily understand what makes me tick just off of watching a video or two. However, I will go on record saying that ultimately at the end of the day, my message is love. I'm a parent, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm a son. It's health, wealth, and knowledge of self. That's my brand. Health, wealth, and knowledge of self. We call it Hawks. You know what I'm saying? That's how we started out, with the KTL Hawks, and it's never swayed from that. It ain't my fault that I got to clean up a lot of the bullshit that these people are out here, they loitering. You know what I'm talking about? They out here loitering in public, the race, the Sith Lords and all of these evil people, they are soliciting good people. So yeah, we are at war, but we got to know who we fighting for and what we fighting for. Good evil, come back.
You had, correspondence on, but you're not in those rooms. You're not the big dog around this motherfucker, and they was never looking to you for guidance or any kind of correspondence. Nobody was looking for you to concur, but you still have no other choice but to come to the surface and speak on it, because you're not the one that waged this peace. Israel has no other choice but to abide by it. They're going to put up a fight. They're going to throw them hands on the way out. But they have no other choice but to abide by it. That's something that you couldn't do. And I know that's eating away at you. Listen to what that man said. I follow with interest the announcements of the memorandum. Of course, because you don't have the balls, you don't have the pull, you don't have none of that. You had to spread your cheeks. You had to bend that ass over, toot that ass up. You had to take it. Take it, because my man raised no bitch. You had to take it. Take it. Iran bent all them bitches over the barrel and told them hoes, you better take that. Because what the fuck you thought this was? This was my shit. You don't have that. Yikes. Of course you did. They reached between America and Iran and the Islamic Republic, and its affirmation of the succession of military operations and escalation in the region, including Lebanon. In this context, I appreciate the memorandum's recognition of Lebanon's unique circumstances. Pause. Number one thing about that sentence and how shady this motherfucker was, he said, in this context, I appreciate the memorandum's recognition of Lebanon's unique circumstances. You hating ass, bald-headed demon. Just say you're happy that Iran did what you couldn't do. Because the memorandum of understanding was created by none other than Iran. Right. Recognition of Lebanon's unique circumstances. Oh, you mean how you bit the bullet, you dropped them pants, tooted that ass up, spread them cheeks, and let them motherfuckers fuck you with no lube. And then they tried to fuck Lebanon on top of that, but Hezbollah wasn't going for that shit. Yeah, that's what you mean. Yeah, that's what you mean. What unique circumstances, Jody Joe? That's your unique circumstances. That's not the future for Lebanon. And unfortunately, you've been voted off the island. Yikes. Yikes. You're not the one making the decisions or calling the shots. And unfortunately, imagine another country has to literally go around you and wage some kind of understanding so that you could have peace in your country after you sold out more than half of your fucking country. They're so excited to return home. They believe in Iran and Hezbollah, what they're doing, that they immediately began rushing home. They're so fucking excited. No one mentioned Joseph Ayoub. No one. I was the only one. I was like, well, where's Joseph? And they were like, who? And I said, Joseph. Y'all remember Joseph Ayoub, the president of Lebanon, right? And they was like, yeah, that nigga. Oh! They know who I am, but no one recognized you in the room. They didn't give a fuck. They was like, yeah, that nigga. Like, we don't fuck with him. We don't know him. Like, bitch, when I tell you I read this whole speech, and it's not even worth you reading it because it's literally, like, you could tell when they're hating ass so mad as fuck that they gotta bite their fucking tongue. And that's what it's given. He said, I extended my gratitude to all the countries and the parties that contributed to the achievement of the memorandum. You know what this gives? Y'all know at the end of them BET movies and shit, when they be like, no, I'm hopeful. Yes, I am hopeful for today. Take this music and use it. Let it take you away and be hopeful that we'll make a way. I know it ain't easy, but that's okay. Just be hopeful. And they do like a freeze frame with the black and white. Freeze! This is Joseph's freeze frame. And somewhere in the caption it says, Joseph Ayoub was a hating ass nigga that never got anything fucking accomplished in Lebanon and was mad as shit that he had to acknowledge that Iran was really the big dog. Iran made sure Lebanon was taken care of and that the Lebanese in the south got to return home and Israel had to get out of the south of Lebanon. And then it unfreezes and shows that he indeed is a hating ass nigga. Stay tuned!
You know what came to my mind? Where is the Michelle Obama lawsuit? That should have dropped either today or tomorrow, right? There should be a lawsuit. There should be a defamation of character lawsuit, right? With the birth certificate and everything. Because, you know, that's crazy that they was on yeah. If somebody called me a man on television at the White House, that's a bag coming to me. So yeah, we should be anticipating that lawsuit, right? Right, guys? Right? Yeah, I believe so. Who knows the guy Oliver? Who knows about Oliver, that the plane crash with the Oliver guy? Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Y'all want to get into that?
After seeing the results of New York, damn near.
Let's stay on New York for a minute. Hold on.
After seeing the results of New York damn near shut down the whole city, blow buses up, set fireworks, riot the streets, this has confirmed to me that we are fully able to revolt against the Epstein elite who are eating, trafficking, raping our kids, poisoning us, and using our tax dollars to fund genocides and pedophile rings. We just don't care enough. I mean, seriously, think about that. The raw physical capacity for revolution is sitting right there in the streets, completely unorganized, just waiting for a reason to explode. And I feel like the results of the Knicks and the entirety of New York had the perfectly right idea. Everyone was completely united and completely almost destroyed the city. Everyone came together. The sheer force of a population moving as one collective wave is terrifyingly powerful. The logistics aren't the problem. The energy is not the problem. The problem is not that we're helpless, paralyzed, or weak. The issue is the target and the intention. Because New York did not do this because of an elite pedophile class ruling our world and controlling us. They did this because of a basketball game. No offense, dude, but think about how deeply backwards, stupid, and stagnant that makes America look like. It is the ultimate confirmation of bread and circus. I mean, the Roman Empire figured this shit out thousands of years ago. Keep the public fed with cheap food and entirely consumed by meaningless spectacles, and they will never look up at the chains around their necks. We got millions of people who will lose their fucking minds, flip vehicles, clash with police, and risk their freedom because a ball went through a hoop or a corporate franchise won a trophy. But when it comes to the systematic exploitation of children, the poisoning of our food and water systems, the absolute theft of our labor via taxes, and the funding of global genocides and pedophile rings by an insulated, protecting ruling class, the response is a collective shrug. People will scroll past a horrific headline with complete indifference, but they'll block traffic for a championship parade. The root cause of this psychological stagnation is a deeply engineered comfort. The system has made people just comfortable enough to complain, but too comfortable to actually act with intention. We have traded our collective conscience for entertainment. We direct our tribal instincts, our natural rage, and our desperate need for community into corporate sports and manufactured culture wars because it's safe. It requires zero moral courage to riot over a basketball game. It requires zero sacrifice to get drunk and tear down a street sign because your favorite team won. The establishment looks at those riots and laughs because they know that tomorrow morning, every single person who tore up that city will punch the clock, pay their taxes, and remain completely subservient to the exact same institutions that are destroying their future. The solution to this...
They said they turning on Palantir that everybody that was dealing with the violence and shit, they about to get these arrest warrants out there. They said they're gonna clean everybody up. Literally, the next morning, New York City was spick and span. Do you know that? Did y'all see those videos? Literally, 8 a.m. They had people on Sunday walking the streets at 8 a.m. 42nd Street, 34th Street. The shit was clean, bro. You know what I'm talking about? It was clean as a whistle. Yeah, even where Castanet was at with the streamer university tryouts, they made a big mess over there, but they cleaned that shit up. You know, them people in New York, they you know, they got that cleanup system. One of my cousins is in sanitation. You know what I'm talking about? I don't know how much. I think they're getting like 40 an hour or something. But yeah, they was doing a Birdman hand rub when they see niggas tearing the city up because that's that good overtime.
Psychological trap is a brutal reevaluation of our priorities. We have to stop letting the ruling class dictate where we spend our fire. The power to change the world is already there. Look at this. This is the blueprint. We literally just watched it paralyze one of the biggest cities on earth over a game. We don't need to find our strength. We need to redirect it. Until the day comes where the collective population is more outraged by the real-world atrocities committed by the Epstein elite than they are by a sports score, we will remain trapped in this exact same cycle of manufactured distraction. It's time to wake up, pull our heads out of the circus, and start directing our collective power at the forces that actually hold the keys to our captivity.
Now, when I was saying that this is reminding me of 2020, the collective energy and what this powder keg that I see building up and whatnot, it starts with what you saw with the Knicks and everything, but you know, I see the potential. And I see what could I see what could ultimately happen if things, you know, are led in that direction and whatnot. You know what I mean? Because, you know, it was the catalyst of George Floyd in 2020 that broke the camel's back, but we was going through Ahmaud Arbery. We was pissed off about Breonna Taylor. We was pissed off about a few things and whatnot. And then the buildup, it was compounding. And then that basically broke the dam and whatnot. And as you can see, there's a lot of things that are compounding. There's a lot of things that are compounding inside of the news cycle and shit like that. So, you know, shit, who knows? But yeah, let us continue. Let's get back to this. Let me see what else we got with New York. I'm in a New York state of mind.
I tried to boycott it.
So in the last 48 hours, in Brazil.
So when the NFL
and Israel is stronger than ever. This is the bottom line of this campaign up until now. Let me say.
Check this out. Do you know that they were practicing celibacy? Do you know the Knicks were practicing no fap celibacy? Not celibacy, they were practicing what we've been talking about holding on, you know, the no sex, no fapping thing. Check it out.
He brought niggas in, say 10 weeks. Don't have no sex, lock in. Niggas a savage. Niggas a savage.
So James Dolan, who's the billionaire owner, he told the players in order to win the chip, they need to abstain from having intercourse with their wives and whatnot.
But he made it even sweet. He said, if y'all win the chip, I'm gonna buy your wives a ring. Y'all gonna get a championship ring, and I'm also gonna buy your wives a ring because they play every single part of this as well. They have a part to play. Yeah.
He could be a bigger savage if he built a practice facility in the city, but he's still savage.
I know. Don't give me no strike with that dumbass Drake shit in the background. But who know about the B-52 bomber? 8 people aboard in California. Ancestors. Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. But it's good to see the those sciences being applied to a championship team. You know, because the way that they was jumping around, the way that they was moving, you know what I mean? They look very energized, very magnetized, very quote unquote focused and whatnot. So yeah, great case study. You know what I mean? Great case study to show to the youth that are dealing with lust. You know what I mean? This overtly lustful society that we're living in and whatnot, where they push lust and they push blind lust on these children, these young generations and whatnot. So they're not channeling their energy and they're not getting super focused and whatnot, and they're not becoming laser-like and shit like that. You know? But let me see. Let's get to this Oliver Tree shit. All right. Let's get to this Oliver Tree shit. Check it out.
Ago, Oliver Tree exposed that after he cut ties with Atlantic Records, the Illuminati reached out to him and they wanted him to sign a contract with You Can Read It. He declined and they threatened him and told him that he would, You Can Read It soon. I don't know where the Daily T got some of this information, but we all know that secret societies and reptiles and whatever else is out there, they control the music industry and they control all the other industries as well. I did find this video of him talking about Atlantic Records, so check it out.
I just got word that my album is no longer coming out. Love You Madly, Hate You Badly is officially canceled, and I'm parting ways with Atlantic Records. Behind the scenes has been nothing short of a nightmare. I have no marketing budgets for music videos, no digital ad spend. Nobody really cares in the building, it seems like. I made a lot of money for Atlantic Records, and they don't seem to remember that. I have gotten no support. They forgot to ingest multiple songs into the system, which means the songs didn't come out. I had a Valentine's Day breakout song that didn't even get released because someone forgot to put it in. I don't really understand how that's possible. I've made them tens of millions of dollars, but they don't remember that. So, the music is owned by them. The remainder of the music will not be coming out.
Anyone who gets famous off of these contracts usually fails to realize that the only reason they're famous is because of the companies that they sign contracts with.
Tease me, baby. Please me, baby. Some crazy shit going on in Brazil this weekend, y'all. They on a ritual bag. They definitely in a ritual bag. The shit that I seen, crazy. Crazy. Check it out.
I don't know how much terrible stuff.
They are definitely spirit cooking. Y'all pay attention.
So in the last 48 hours in Brazil, these 2 rituals have just taken place. These are global rituals to prepare us for some major developments in the world, okay? They've dashed a woman off of Skeleton Bridge, no cord attached to her. And then someone called Oliver Tree, who was just about to expose the industry, has died in this helicopter crash. Yeah? We are about to experience a very satanic, symbolic summer. In the UK, there's going to be so much race tension. There's going to be so many stabbings, so many migrant attacks, all done on purpose, all coordinated on purpose to bring about a civil war. Yeah, the football that's happening right now, major bread and circus, major distraction. Yeah, so much satanic symbology, and this ritual. Listen to what Oliver Tree had to say.
I just got word that my album is no longer coming out. Love You Madly, Hate You Badly is officially canceled, and I'm parting ways with Atlantic Records. Behind the scenes has been nothing short of a nightmare. I have no marketing budgets for music videos, no digital ad spend. Nobody really cares in the building, it seems like. I made a lot of money for Atlantic Records, and they don't seem to remember that. I have gotten no support. They forgot to ingest multiple songs into the system, which means the songs didn't come out. I had a Valentine's Day breakout song.
Last time there was a massive ritual like this, yeah? Kobe Bryant dying in a helicopter. Look how the world changed, yeah? Get ready for some major developments. They've just told you publicly, we're about to put a rose-quartz crystal up your ass and grape you.
The whole World Cup thing, you know, that as, you know, it's a little bit different than what we see with the basketball and the NBA. These are countries like Spain, you know, these are countries with, this is a global psyop in a sense, right? This is the global tensions for these teams are high. When they riot, my nigga, they riot. You know what I mean? So even with, you know, you saw the politics already pop out when South Africa was playing Mexico and all of Africa was shunning South Africa because of their xenophobia and shit like that, right? So there's already, you know, and then you got Iran playing right now. That's political. Haiti got played out. They was cheating on Haiti. That's political. You know, all of these things are literally in our face and whatnot. And they're playing a lot of, you know what I'm saying? Like he said, the Red Summer. Pay attention to how they're building up a lot of tension over the summer and whatnot. That whole FIFA shit is going to set the ground for whatever may take place over the summer, because keep in mind, over here on the States, they're building up the racial tension. And then over across seas, you know, look at what took place in Belfast and whatnot. They were literally going door to door, dragging migrants out and you know, and doing them dirty and whatnot. You feel me? And then we got niggas like Charleston White, who's not making the situation any better. He's exasperating the issue, ladies and gentlemen. He's literally over here exasperating the issue amongst the the different races and whatnot. He is a agent at this point. He needs to be stopped.
How much terrible stuff you got to do in your life in order to get to the same level as Charleston White? Like, every single time I feel like he can't get lower and he can't get any worse, he proves me wrong every single time, bro. Like, this AI generated slop bullshit is absolutely ridiculous, especially when you think about how hard he was riding for Carmelo. Absolutely despicable, bro. And I knew he was on some grifting shit when he was doing that. I knew it, bro. Because, like, as much as he tries to say he stands for black folks, he really cares more about himself. And that's what he's saying, capitalism supersedes racism. Niggas like this will do any and everything in order to get financially right. And niggas like this will say black capitalism will get us out of it, you know what I'm saying? But most of the time, they're doing the most unethical shit. And he knows for a fact that the only people that's gonna buy this shit is ignorant ass coons like him and racist white people. So the ends do not justify the means. You don't give a fuck about your people. And he's constantly talking about how much he don't care about white black folks. So it's just like him doing that whole shit around the trial was absolute bullshit. I don't even know how he still has followers, bro. He's at like 450,000 on Instagram, bro. Like, how many? I shouldn't be surprised because there's a lot of ignorant ass niggas out there, bro. But like, it's still just disheartening to see that like people won't give a fuck. Like, there's just certain things that people won't care about as long as they can get entertained in some way, shape, or form, bro. Like supporting Charleston White really shows that you are damn near on like an animal, wild animal level thinking. This shit is crazy.
Be the ones on the front line using their platforms and using their voices to talk about the injustices that was happening right before their eyes. And the fact that those niggas ain't said nothing. I ain't talking about making some innocuous post or sharing something in your story, you bitch ass niggas. You hoe ass niggas. Bro, these rap niggas will shoot, kill, murder, stab, jump, beat, rob, without no provocation, each other. Boy, in a situation like this, but this just shows you the step and fetch it nature, the neck bone, pickle pig feet, cornbread nature of these slave ass niggas. These niggas didn't want no trouble with the white man. That's why you won't see these niggas.
Do they ever really know, dog?
Hey, listen, But these niggas, these niggas are the furthest thing removed from Tupac as we can get. These niggas, these rap niggas ain't no freedom fighters. Tupac would never. Tupac was rolling. He rolled over his grave at these neck bone eating ass, bitch ass, coward ass niggas.
So, you know, when Charleston White first came out, he was going after the gangster rappers, the gang bangers, the trap rappers, the drill rappers, and he was a necessary evil, right? And he was being platformed and whatnot, and he was calling out the hypocrisy of, you know, he first started out, I believe, in Texas against Fort Worth artists like Yo Moneybag, whatever this dude's name is right here, when they killed Mo3 and whatnot, Trap Boy Freddy, Go Yella, what's his name? Go Yella, whatever that is. He started out on Dallas Fort Worth, Texas artists. Then he spilled over, I believe, into Houston with Sauce Walker and all of them. And then he started to aim at like Boozy and shit like that, NBA Youngboy. And he is the proverbial example of somebody who has gotten way too big for their britches, and he's become attention whore. And yeah, Yella Beezy, he's become an attention whore, and he's become a detriment. He's become a problem in terms of, you know, what he's out here doing. He's not only a rogue agent, but he's become super duper toxic. But yeah, check this out, man. This and because he got jewelry on, he got a little bit of ice on and shit like that. He's wearing Balenciaga, you know, somehow, some way, you know, they giving Unc a pass and shit like that. Like that's supposed, cause you know, he can't dress for shit. It ain't even like he's putting it on and whatnot, you know, but the appearance of him making money and whatnot is somewhat making people lock in with him as if he's winning and shit. And then Aiden Rothstein and some of those closeted UFC racists and whatnot, they threw him under the deodorant because they realized how much of an asset he was. Imagine what he says to them off camera versus what he says on camera. You feel me? Imagine what this coon says to them off camera versus what he says on camera to the world and whatnot. So he more than likely made all of these white folks mad comfortable, and that's why you see him being holed out right now, and they're using him as a quote unquote as a dog, you know what I mean, as a dog, as a rabid dog with rabies and whatnot, to go and disrupt everything that's going on. Check it out.
Watch and listen to our black men. Literally, literally.
A small group of people made a whole lot of money. Now, no matter what they did, no matter what type of lifestyle they live, we elevated them because of the money that they were making. And now we have our children emulating that, knowing they're never going to make that kind of money, but they're emulating that whole lifestyle and that culture because we elevated those people above the people who had the moral authority. In the 70s and 80s, there were intellectuals in our community that had more cachet than the rappers. True. Yeah. There were people who were thought leaders who we would go to before we say, okay, well, let me give this dude a mic, even though he done spent 10 years in jail, but he came out and flipped that and did these deals and made $100 million. So let's give him the mic and ask him how we should be living.
If you flip it right over to the white community, Eminem is not a prolific thought leader for them at all.
Exactly.
For the Chinese community, Yao Ming is not a prolific thought leader.
You know, black community, this is the first time that we have given people who are not qualified to even be in certain positions these positions. Now look at your boy Jay-Z. Talk about selling out. Let's go to Hove, Afro Hove, that is.
So when the NFL was facing boycotts over Colin Kaepernick and they wanted to win black people back, they brought in Jay-Z to keep us singing and dancing. Now Target has realized that black people are not returning, regardless of what Jamal Bryant said. They have now brought Jay-Z in to keep us singing and dancing. It's not weird. Let me find out Sean would have been in the back of the bus during the Montgomery bus boycott rapping. Capitalism is a hell of a drug. Wow. Also, this is how I imagine the staff meeting went when the idea was proposed.
And that's what makes it look like hip-hop. What this is with hip-hop is everything's down low. It all is in a plie. I think the first thing that you need to know about hip-hop, it's all about your posture.
I tried to boycott Asian businesses, but I couldn't. I went and got my nails done by them yesterday. Because number one, we're not set up for this. Black businesses aren't set up for this. Number two, salon suites are everywhere. You got to book out, and it was 2 weeks for her to see me and everything like that, which is good for her because it's good for business. But I needed my nails done yesterday. Number two, everybody's going to continue to have salon suites because they don't get along with each other. You don't never see a healthy work environment with 4 or 5 stylists in one salon and they all get along. That's why everybody went to salon suites. And if you think about it, people who do nails and hair, they don't even like their customers. they act like they don't even like us. All these rules and regulations you got to follow before getting there. Have your hair washed, have it blow dried. She's not working over somebody else's work. When it comes to the nails, I'm not soaking off somebody else's nails. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing that. They don't like customers. They don't like each other. It's rare that a salon or a nail place full of black women works in a healthy environment. They're not going to do that. So we're not set up for this boycott. We need them. Honestly, we need them. Like, what are we going to do? Book 2 weeks out in advance? There's no convenience when it comes to the nail techs in my area. So I don't know, y'all. Good luck. I gotta go to the Asians. And what about I gotta take my braids out soon. Where am I gonna get the hair? From you that got it from the Asians? What are we doing? We need a real plan, one that's gonna work.
Well, first of all, sister, I don't think we should be sitting here talking about we need somebody. Only thing we need is the Most High. And when you telling somebody you need them, you automatically giving them power. It only been a few days possibly when she made this video. She said she got to go get her nails done. And now she got to take her hair out. She can't wait 2 weeks to get her nails done. So we back spending money. It would never work in this situation anyway, because the beauty standard has been set so high, because online, if your nails ain't done, people are like, oh, look at her nails. Your hair ain't done. People are always talking. So right now we already set up to fail in this, and they know that. You know what I mean? They got the market on lock. So I do understand.
Nails was that important, you know? I don't look at nobody's nails. I don't know what that's all about. I heard if your nails is too long, you can't wipe your ass. Like, what's this nail thing? The nails are so important that you rather to violate the fucking boycott. You know what I mean? The nail is that bad. Like, that's crazy to me right there. That is crazy to me. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, we work it. We dealing with ourselves, man. People are dealing with themselves, man. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, because it's more to this shit. Check this out. And this dude coming up, he's echoing the sentiments that I've shared before. He's doing he's a little more harder on the cities and whatnot. But yeah, listen to what the bro got to say, because all of this is related. None of this is outside of one another. It's all about the mind state, but it all stems from the culture. The culture is toxic. The culture is self-defeating. The culture is the opposite of empowerment and whatnot. The culture, the same ones that the Jay-Z's of the world and these corporate owners, right? These owners who basically have forged, right, our culture into some type of a commercialized, we only customers. We are a consumer-based culture that these leeches and these vampires are literally sucking the effervescence from us. Real talk.
Yeah, I like this, man. Atlanta, Georgia ain't nothing but witches and warlocks trying to trick each other and deceive each other out of money, out of sexual favors, all that. That's all Atlanta is full of. Atlanta, Miami, Las Vegas, all those type of big cities, Houston, Dallas. I ain't even just gonna say Atlanta. All them type of cities. Ain't nothing but big cities where everybody trying to go based off social media clout and hype. And ain't nobody doing nothing but going there and catching diseases, getting caught up in the party life, not even realizing that once you do go to a big city, guess what? You ain't just gonna go to no club and automatically be in the rich people circle. And what folks don't even understand is that ain't nothing but the clout in the fake rich circle, because the real rich people don't even go to the club. That's all Atlanta, Miami, Dallas, and Houston is. Modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. Las Vegas, all them type clubs. All them type of cities. Jezebels and witches and warlocks running around trying to deceive and trick each other out of money and sexual favors and passing around diseases. That's all that's going on. So if you go into one of them cities thinking that you finna go to the club and run into people and blow up overnight and people finna support you and all that, nope. Big markets everywhere you go. The competition even bigger and stronger. And guess what? You got to deal with more smoke and mirrors when you go to them type of cities. So if you're a woman trying to move to these cities, think you finna find a rich guy, it's going to be very hard, because a lot of dudes in these cities that's going to pretend like they got money. And they make it look real good. They're going to pretend like they got it. And you might be tricked out of your panties at least 100 times. And you still might not even find the guy that got money. And that's a lot of times. Because you ain't going to use a condom all the time. Same thing, vice versa, fellas. Going to these big cities trying to come up, trying to score. Man, you gonna run into all type of stuff, slimy stuff in these cities. Thinking you finna come up, thinking this finna happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight but the next day. That's it. Cause tomorrow really ain't even promised. Get y'all head on straight, man. I'm speaking like this because I done been through it all. I done been to these cities. I done seen the culture. I done seen how things go. Everybody, so 99% of the people in these cities are pretentious, drive rental cars, sleeping with the same women, everybody doing the same stuff, everybody in everybody's business, everybody gossiping, everybody meeting up at the same clubs and lounges, gossiping, sending each other subliminal posts throughout the week, then meet up on the weekend. Why y'all think it be so many fights and stuff in these clubs? Because when you follow people on social media that's in the same social circle as you, people know who the subliminals are targeted toward. Gospel spreads fast in these communities, in this culture. So the club scene. It ain't nothing going on in the club but drinking, smoking, devil music. That's all that's going on in these clubs. Ain't nothing else going on. Music to make you want to go rob, hustle, scam, have unprotected sex, do some drugs, all type of stuff. That's all the musical influences is in the club. So if you looking for a wife in the club, you going to the wrong spot, player. Same thing, ladies. You looking for a rich man, a good, stable, strong man that want to take care of you, you going to the wrong spot. You about to get tricked out your panties, because more than likely, if you do got money, you just going to be one of many. And also, you got to deal with the guys that ain't got it that's going to look like they got it. So, the same thing, fellas. Y'all better be careful, man, going to these cities thinking this all sweet. Ain't nothing but smoke and mirrors, man. Smoke and mirrors. How you moving back to your hometown in a U-Haul, or you be catching a Greyhound back trying to keep up with these folk. Can't keep up with these devilish, demonic, evil scammers that scamming bank fraud for 70 and 80K, 100K days. They don't give a doggone about the feds trying to get them. They don't give a damn about crossing you out. About that big old play. Y'all better be careful out here, man. Smoke and mirrors. Be smooth out here. You've been warned. Talking about coming to one of these cities. All right.
Man, he done dropped some real talk. I'm going to answer that question in 1 minute. Did the Knicks do sex magic? No, it's not sex magic. It's semen retention. There's no magic in that. It's transmutation. I wouldn't call it magic. All they did was semen retention. They locked in on the goal, and they used their semen retention to go and get that goal.
And by them not draining their balls and whatnot, they had energy. Okay. I don't know if anybody understands that from the opposite side or whatnot, but men lose energy. Okay. Busting nuts. You lose energy. You lose your chi. You lose your power. There's no, to be honest with you, there really is not a big benefit in spilling your seed like that unless you procreating. You gotta learn transmutation. That's what we talk about, self-mastery. If anybody is a master of something, is gonna have to deal with their quote unquote doing what? Mastering their lower self, being able to transmute that energy, that kundalini energy, to commit to something. But the way that they've been marketing our youth, from the young Miami crowd, the women and the men, the boys and the girls, everybody's supposed to be just splashing and squirting all over the place, splashing on curtains and, dripping all over the place. Everything is about the drip, but the drip is the drop. So no, the owner, who's a billionaire, told them niggas, hold your nuts for 10 weeks if you want to get this chip. And some of them probably didn't do it, but they agreed that they was going to finna do it. This is what boxers do. This is what athletes do. This is what people that are runners and do marathons. This is what happens, but they don't teach us this in none of the schools. They don't teach us this in society. So even if you bring it to your women and whatnot, they looking at you strange. They're not for that. Women are not for that. Our women are not pro sex retention. They're not pro semen retention. They call you weird. They start group chats and everything. This nigga scared of the box and all of this other stuff. No, I'm trying to make some shit happen. I'm trying to win. So we need women who could help us transmute our lower self. We need women to help us with this fucking energy that we got. And it ain't just about painting their face and whatnot and doing all of this pornographic stuff that they've taught us through the industry, through Western culture, through the small hats, through the Is It Real, these people from Is It Real and whatnot. They're the ones in charge of our sexual education. They're the ones who've been giving us our appetite and whatnot. That's them. That's them. Okay, so your queen was the one that taught you about retention. Yes, blessings. That's rare. But yeah, that's rare. But yeah, you got you a good one. Then the opposite of that is the woman who will drain a man and basically empty him out, destroy his aura and whatnot, and drain that man to whereas he's a former shell of himself. Okay, all in the name of sexual pleasures and all in the name of lust and fornication. So there's a whole science to this, and we kind of have been left out to dry and to die because we're not learning these arcane sciences. But if you want to tap into like the Buddha, the monk, if you want to tap into certain higher forms of priesthood, then you will have to be able to function in that capacity. You dig? So I won't call it sex magic. We're not doing period blood and doing shit like that, playing with vibrators. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about sexual semen retention. Semen retention. It's not the same as what they are out here marketing, because what they marketing as sex magic don't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? That sex magic thing, that's been co-opted as well. If you were to ask me, that's been co-opted as well, because I don't think people have gotten a clear picture about what the fuck is going on and how to healthfully manifest, how to manifest in a more healthier way. I don't think that we've all got that lesson collectively. I'm just saying. I could be wrong, but that's just the way that it is. That's how I've been seeing it. And I've been seeing, I think a lot of the suffering that the youth are going through right now, I think a lot of the suffering that the younger generations are experiencing with the YNs and whatnot, that has a lot to do with, there's many different factors, but sexual discipline or sexual undiscipline, that is a factor. Another factor is the lack of conflict resolution. That's another factor. Social media, of course, exasperated things, pride and ego and all of that play a big part. You feel me? But something is happening and we should be able to get in front of it. I think that the older generations, like the aunties and the cougars and the uncles and the unks and whatnot, they're so fixated by sex. They're so infatuated by lust. They're so hypnotized by quote unquote fornication and whatnot that they're not even willing to pump the brakes and look back and focus on the youth and build something for the youth and create something for the youth and literally hand the youth the keys to the kingdom. I don't think that they're ready for that. Check this out.
Questions about street life from a math teacher. It don't make sense to me in this economy. Why my students don't value human life, like what's the difference between a 9-year-old child and a 9mm gun? It's where the decimal points, no matter how much mental math I do, the murder don't add up to me, and I know 25 to life is not greater than or equal to living soul. Why do the children keep dying? I know. Broken homes be the variables can't nobody solve, account for, or add to, and my students are just products of their environment, and the world will tell them that they're the problem. To go get an education and chase the American dream like they ain't killed King. Solve for Malcolm X like the children aren't dying at their desk, and my students will say, that's a cute angle. But where we're from, a degree won't save you. It might help the bullet graze you or be the charge that the feds gave you. A 9 to 5 ain't the solution. 1% you make is a percent Uncle Sam takes. I teach my students that 0 divided by 0 is 0. So if I have nothing and you have nothing and we kill each other, then our mothers have nothing. And what's a funeral to do? But put them in the negatives. The children should be in school learning how to carry the one, but they too busy being pallbearers, carrying.
I felt that. She said the math teacher, boy. Yeah, I felt that one right there.
Decided to repost this comment about Carmelo Anthony's father.
Let's go back to this Carmelo thing real quick because they going in on the father. I got questions.
Repost this comment about Carmelo Anthony's father, and instead of her handling any issue that she has with the family, she's making it into a huge humiliation ritual, just like Charleston White. My thing is, I feel like y'all expect everybody to know how to handle situations like this. Everybody doesn't know how to handle situations like this. Just know that we have seen these type of parents before, where one may know how to go down swinging and be with the shits, and one may not know how.
I'm confused. I called Dr. Matthew out to put boots on the ground and to talk her shit. I ain't know she was gonna pop in and pop out and say, bye, ho, I gotta go. Because I haven't heard nothing new since Thursday. With all this new information came out, you would think she'll be running her fucking mouth. Nah, a lot of people, once this young lady made this video, was saying that that was a fake page. No, that's Dr. Matthew's real page. I had to literally do my research. I've been sitting on this for 2 days now. Today make the 3rd day. Here's my big thing. I don't know what side Dr. Matthew is riding on, but why would you want to post this? Come on, Candace, now. Respectfully. It's giving confusion. It's giving suspicion. And I haven't heard no noise. Okay? Now, on top of that, I have heard in his allegations that you've been playing both sides. You're liking Charleston White videos, and you around here liking Secret Service Man videos too. Now, I went to Secret Service Man page, and I saw some videos you like. I could not find Charleston White page. I don't want to believe Dr. Candace Matthews playing games. Girl, y'all can't make me believe that lady playing games. I ain't gonna take no lie, but I'm not gonna lie. She have been quiet, and it been new shit that been made present to us with evidence. I will be thinking she'll be running her mouth. All right. Suspicious. Huh. I guess what they saying is true. Allegedly.
This whole situation with this Texas situation with Carmelo is a bona fide shit show. I've never seen so much disunity and disorganization.
I've never seen so much people jumping ship. I've never seen so much cross signals. I've never seen so much backstabbing. And I'm not even really, I wouldn't even consider myself all the way in on a case like that. But just based off of what I've been seeing, it's disheartening. You know what I mean? And this is one of the cases that is being publicized and broadcasted around the world. There's shit going on all over every day that we don't even know about, where these parents are being hung out to dry and backstabbed and all of this other stuff, man. The shit is disheartening. Like, if you're not gonna ride for them people, don't even show up and go live. Don't say a fucking word. Because once you say a word and once you put yourself out there, you literally gotta ride out to the wheels fall off. You're locked in. You're gonna get death threats. You're gonna get all of the things that come with the territory. You gotta know who you dealing with. But if your ass fold and you got weak knees and whatnot, you know what I mean? Work on your glutes. Stay home. This is not for the weary. This is not for the weak. This is not for the clout chaser. This is not for the one you just want to get a sound bite and then you moving on to something else. Nah, you locked into the end, my friend. Don't make yourself front and center and then you're not there for the most important parts. It's not how you start the race, it's how you finish it. Them people need to be adamant every single day. You know what I mean? Especially after the father put the video out and he took his mask off and let everybody know how he really feels. You don't even buy into that. You ignore shit like that. But now you have a whole deck of cards that you could play. This is where the fatigue comes from. This is where the fatigue, where people don't want to deal with black issues. They don't want to deal with black cases. They don't want to deal with black people because black people, they will tire you out versus giving you that energy that you need to keep shit going. They won't charge you up. They will destroy your battery. These are some accident murderers, man. These people are not really in this shit, bro. They cloud chasing. I don't see no Malcolm X in none of them. You know what I'm talking about? I see more DMX than I see Malcolm X in them. They don't got that shit, bro. I have not seen nobody that they rolled out in front of us that's supposed to be a leader, from Benjamin Crump all the way up into all of these colorful people in these stiff ass suits and whatnot. I have not seen near one that raised my eyebrow and I'm like, that could be one of the messianics. That could be somebody from the seed of a Khaled or the seed of a quote unquote. Hell nah. They more Charleston White than anything, than Chalky White. They more Charleston White than Chalky White. Facts. You know what I'm talking about? Let's talk about this guy who got let's talk about the dude with the helicopter again real quick. Browski. Yeah, Brosy. Come talk to us, Brosy O'Donnell.
Oliver Tree was sacrificed, and the reason people believed it so fast is actually the real story. Because when an artist dies right after fighting the machine, the internet does not grieve normally. It starts looking for the contract, and that should tell you something. People are not just reacting to a helicopter crash. They're reacting to a pattern. The artist gets famous. The system builds the image. The label owns the leverage. The public sees the persona. But behind the scenes, the artist starts realizing my voice is not fully mine. My audience is not fully mine. My money is not fully mine. My career is not fully mine. Then the artist tries to leave. And suddenly every old clip becomes a warning. Every symbol becomes predictive programming. Every lyric becomes a confession. Every date becomes a code. Every accident starts feeling like punishment. That does not mean every theory is true, but it does mean the public nervous system no longer trusts the machine around the artist. And some of you know exactly what this feels like, because it is not just the music industry. It is the family system that loved you while you stayed small, then called you crazy when you started leaving. It is the relationship that supported your healing until your healing meant they lost access. It is the workplace that praised your loyalty until you you wanted ownership. Comment scroll below if your body already knows this pattern, because this is where it gets even deeper. But the scariest part is not the conspiracy. The scariest part is how familiar the pattern feels. The moment someone tries to exit a controlling system, the internet does not grieve normally. It starts looking for the contract. And that should tell you something. People are not just reacting to a helicopter crash. They are reacting to a pattern. The artist gets famous. The system builds the image. The label owns the leverage. The public sees the persona. But behind the scenes, the artist starts realizing my voice is not fully mine. My audience is not fully mine. My money is not fully mine. My career is not fully mine. Then the artist tries to leave. And suddenly every old clip becomes a warning. Every symbol becomes predictive programming. Every lyric becomes a confession. Every date becomes a code. Every accident starts feeling like punishment. That does not mean every theory is true, but it does mean the public nervous system no longer trusts the machine around the artist. And some of you know exactly what this feels like, because it is not just the music industry. It is the family system that loved you while you stayed small, then called you crazy when you started leaving. It is the relationship that supported your healing until your healing meant they lost access. It is the workplace that praised your loyalty until you wanted ownership. Comment scroll below if your body already knows this pattern, because this is where it gets even deeper. But the scariest part is not the conspiracy. The scariest part is how familiar the pattern feels. The moment someone tries to exit a controlling system, the system suddenly needs them confused, guilty, unstable, exposed, or afraid. And if you do not own your signal, someone else can always rent your freedom back to you. That is the part creators are missing. Followers are not ownership. Views are not freedom. A viral video is not sovereignty. If a label owns your distribution, if a platform owns your reach, if a sponsor owns your income, you are not free. Look, the Oliver Tree theories exploded because people already believe artists are not allowed to leave the machine. Look, I am not saying we know what happened. I am saying the collective reaction exposed the wound. People do not trust systems that build stars, drain them, own them, and then act shocked when the public sees blood on the contract. Look, your scroll scan is not information. It is the missing coordinates behind the system that still owns your signal. The hidden architecture behind why you keep giving your power to platforms, families, relationships, careers, and identities that only love you when you obey. Comment scroll below if you want to know what system still has access to your timeline, because sometimes the conspiracy is not the proof. Sometimes the conspiracy is the public nervous system screaming, "We have seen this pattern before."
I believe Atlantic was the home of these are artists that got out of their contract and mysteriously just died and whatnot. One that could come to mind is Juice World, right? One that comes to mind is Juice World. Okay. The other who comes to mind is the this guy right here, Oliver Wood, Wigger looking 32. Who is this guy? No disrespect, is he Bieber level? I don't think that he's Bieber level. He's like a he was known, he had a story and whatnot. He was known by a lot of those TikTok. He was like big on TikTok, but he definitely got a story though. I don't know him. I never did the 1-2 to his music and whatnot. But what I do know is that a lot of people knew him, and the fact that he died right there in Brazil, he died with a YouTuber and some other shit, you know, it's being talked about. It's definitely being talked about. You smell me? So Tentacion. Okay, so they had Juice World, Tentacion, right? Did X leave Atlantic? These are people that left Atlantic. We talking about when they walk away. There's a lot of rappers and a lot of artists die, but we're talking about Atlantic Records. Similar that I could give you a list of Empire
Records artists that died mysteriously. They all got whacked and whatnot. Empire Records. Okay. But yeah, this Brazil shit. Pay attention to Brazil. Keep in mind this Brazil thing is Young Dolph was on Empire. Man, we talking more. Was he? Yeah, he's Empire. I got the list. I just don't have it in front of me. You know what I mean? I got the list of Atlantic artists. So now the Atlantic artist is keeping up with the motherfucking Empire artists because they got a list of Atlantic artists that died. You know what I mean? But yeah, the thing about Oliver Tree is that he just got out of his contracts a few months ago. That's where a lot of people are pointing to, not the fact that he was this music star and whatnot, but the fact that he had got out of his contract and he was basically an independent artist who was going to do his numbers. He was on a world tour when he died. He died on tour. You know, he died on tour just now. So we'll pay attention to what the hell going on. But yeah, let sis come in and talk to her. We got straighten some shit up. Yo, sis, come talk to us.
Hey, Boosie, I think you was correct. We do need to start fighting for straight people's rights because these gay people are getting outside their bodies, literally. I said what I said. If you're gay and you feel like the video that I made was picking on you, well, maybe you're doing something wrong. I find it weird when people get up here and we speak against certain behaviors that are not natural, that are not according to God and very much man-made, and you want to try to be combative. If God was standing in front of y'all face right now and told you that your behavior was wrong, you would disrespect God. So why would I ever expect you to listen to me? Y'all are demonic as fuck. I've never seen so many black people fight to stay attached to white standards and white mindsets. I've never seen so many black people fight so hard to be ungodly, unlogical, illogical, and just unbalanced people. Literally, I don't give a fuck how you feel. It's not okay. I don't give a fuck what the rest of the black women accept. It's not okay for grown black men to be wearing wigs, for grown black men to be getting bent over, for grown black men to be wearing purses. It's not okay. And I said it. I don't care how y'all feel about it. Just because other weak black women feel empowered when they're around gay men because you're not truly masculine and you're not going to overpower their illogical mindsets has nothing to do with me. Nothing. I am never going to support things that God will go against. I am never going to support things that I know is leading our people in the wrong direction. God created man and woman for a reason because we're supposed to be creating better people and better communities. We are not supposed to be doing certain things. My lisp is getting bad when I'm pissed. It is straight bullshit how black women want to get up here and try to throw these little daggers like, oh, you're supposed to support that. I'm not supporting that bullshit. Y'all support that bullshit because it makes you feel empowered, because can't nobody check you, because can't nobody say shit. No, but I'm not having none of that. Our black boys are not supposed to be getting bent over. Y'all are literally raising these men to be gay, and I don't care how nobody feel about it.
Let's get to that. You know, let's get to that. Check this shit out.
I wish pastors would shut the fuck up.
And it's dividing the city, and all that's just stupid to me, to be honest with you.
Torrey, the pastor at Potter's house, we can agree to disagree in your assessment. But this happened April 2nd, 2025. This has been known for over a year, this case. But just like every buy now, pay later Negro, saved or unsaved, you used your sermon to speak on it after the fact.
Hello, somebody. If there was an element of self-control, turning the other cheek, self-control, if there was the element of that, it's quite possible we wouldn't be here in this situation.
So you showed up after the fact and turned your cheek all year. But you saved it after you were promoted into a position where your words matter more than they ever did before. Yeah.
Keep your hands to yourself. Use your words responsibly. Hello, somebody. Don't be overcome with evil. overcome evil with good.
But what I did see at their courthouse, I saw Pastor Freddie Haynes praying with the Anthony family because right, wrong, or indifferent, they needed that covering from a man of God. But we got a man of sermons that want to use it for clickbait and convenience instead of when you had the opportunity last year to speak on it, bring awareness, start initiatives. But just like any other time, you quiet. Because we can talk about self-control. Self-control should have told you to shut the fuck up and be silent like you have been the entire fucking year. And instead of using your platform to speak on self-control, how about you use your platform to tell people to go out and vote? Because there's a big election coming up that could shift in Carmelo Anthony's favor when it goes up for appeals. How about you do the needing and the right thing instead of doing what you just did was the judgmental thing? Ain't you tired of black people being judged? Ain't you tired of black people being told that they need to turn the other cheek? Ain't you tired of black people having a rightful place in this country, but their own people telling them that you don't have a rightful place? Move when told to be moved, speak when told to be spoken to. That's a house nigga to me.
I agree. You know, once again, when it comes to situations such as this, these fucking pastors and these preachers always got something to say. They never said anything to make me hype. You know what I mean? They never said anything to push one of my buttons and whatnot and get me lit. But if you want to talk about self-control, my nigga, your self-control should be ignore that shit if you don't got nothing to, if you wasn't there, if you don't have no dog in the race, then why are you always coming out saying something? And you know, they low-key telling our people to tuck their tails. They blaming that young man for defending himself like he's supposed to be some docile freak or something while he's being attacked. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's the withdrawal of a support of a mega preacher. Whereas he could have got on that damn stage and raised up some money for that young man's appeal and whatnot, but he chose to hoe out, you know? And that's the issue. No code. No code whatsoever. No code. I'm going to tell you who be on code, though. New York women. Yeah, that's right. They stay on code. Check it out.
Be dangerous if New York win a title, boy. New York is going to be. Yeah, see? That's why. Let's go Knicks, because New York people are the most aggressive people in the world. Like, yeah, there's nobody, I travel all around America, and there's nowhere that is more prideful than New York people. Like, New Yorkers, like, and because it don't matter what the situation that they in, it's always New York. See? She about to go, so what, pussy, what? You's a fucking bird, nigga. You's a bird on my fucking kids, on my dead, nigga. You's a bird. Brooklyn, B, fuck is wrong with you, nigga? I smacked the shit out this nigga in the name of Jesus, B, on my kid. Yo, fuck this nigga, son. Yo, so what, bitch? What you gonna do, fucking clown? And that's the women. Like, that is a woman. That ain't even the dudes. Oh, God, that's the ladies that do that. That is next level, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to all of the New York women. You know what I mean? We love y'all if nobody else doesn't. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, with that being said, I want to say thank you for your time. Thank you for your energy. Thank you for your attention. Thank you for being here in the building with me. Man, leave some comments. You know what I mean? Interact with the videos. Let us know how y'all thinking. Shout out to everybody that's gonna be at that parade. I hope I see y'all and whatnot. You know, if Jesus smiles down on us, we'll go ahead and have ourselves a good video shoot or 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? I do want to say I want to give a special shout out to one of my best friends. Today is his birthday. He's no longer with us and whatnot. And he would have turned 50 today.
So, you know, all my real rights, all of my Brooklyn, my New Yorkers, y'all know Poop Man. You know what I mean? So I definitely want to give my bro a shout. Salute to him. He's a grandfather. His daughter just had a child. I want to give a shout out to my guy. You know what I mean? I'm still messed up about losing him. One of my childhood, my day ones and whatnot, who held it down for us. So yeah, man, I want to give a shout out to my guy. Salute. And we'll see you on the crossroads. You know what I mean? We'll see you on the crossroads. Peace, love, and light to the family. All right. Y'all stay dangerous. And we up out of here. Peace.
Can't beat us, join us, please bring your coinage. We sink 3-pointers, money shots, all net, all vets. Bums we not, jet skiing in them sunny spots. With women edible like gummy drops. Dummy stop, dummy stop. No weapon form can intercept a storm. Once my intellect is on, I'm projecting on magnetic fields. And interact with blacks with athletic bills. I'm all about growth and development like residents of Ebbets Fields. Not to choose between woo and chew. We wanna line them colors up like a Rubik's Cube. And fade to black, yeah, the truest hue. When you say the black man is God, who you alluded to? The usual, Clarence 13X, a worthy guess. The words expressed come from the word in flesh. Elijah M, the NOI versus Leviathan. Messiah sent from the heavenly branches. 7 P's from since G-Dub cut down the cherry tree. In the wilderness of North Mex, and we flossing death and forced aggression, or forced perception, forced protection, or forced confessions. It's all a lesson.
The sorcerers from Corsica, killer tonics, sticks and drums like the Philharmonic Orchestra. You niggas still playing harmonicas from officers, fabric softener. Jive turkeys popping 5 perkies, playing with keys, the Scotch Storch type. For that soft white, we could've caught life, just being forthright. First class on my 4th flight, popping out like Fortnite. Every night we lit like Porsche lights. The meek shall inherit the earth, oh yeah, they're scorched type. And these niggas, they some hoes in these streets. Me, I'm 10 toes in these streets. They lost their souls, niggas got holes in their feet. Shit, I'm just worried about the craft and how to perfect it. Not worried about the craft, yeah, that's out of perspectives. Focus on the chip like I'm Robert Kraft, and then how to protect it. It's the waves of the oceans. Get to the money, nigga, save your emotion. Descendant of the slaves in the graves in the oceans. Mastermind that the waves is in motions. These niggas, they addicted to the folly, addicted to that molly. Making me a movie, them sticks made of holly. I'm Dr. Manhattan, sitting on top of Manhattan. When I get all 5 rings, snap my fingers and pop up on satin. Dressed in all black, yeah, drop top the Phantom.